Test. Welcome back, guys. We are straight into game for game number 4. We're already down to 14 squads here at Series E.
We're in the future.
Thank you for sticking with us. Yeah, we're in the future. We decided to, of course, instead of delaying the tournament, allowing our competitors to play as we fixed our issues and hopefully everything is resolved. But here we are. It looks like a big fight. Multiple teams here over at No Name.
Yeah, definitely was Luke's fault why nothing was working. But anyway, back on board with Team Rockstar over here, as they're going to get out of No Name. And how many times have we seen these guys on the edge? It's been super tough for the zone pulls on their side. We know that they land over towards Lava City. No zones over towards the south side of the map. Instead, it's been all uphill for Team Rockstar. They've had to take so many fights, but looks like they've already got one squad wipe over here. They've already got some Evo shields charged up, and seen great plays from Rakinishu going forward. So the only thing they had to worry about is a third party on this side of the map.
Yeah, the one game where they got the ring basically in their favors when the game number 3 over at Geyser, but they weren't able to rotate fast enough to the position where they normally play. They ended up getting third-partied by Team Intel. We'll have, of course, updates on the leaderboard after this game, but it looks like it's going to be a very wide wrap as, oh, look at this circle. Doesn't this one look familiar?
It looks fairly familiar, but you can see the zone is crept up on that side, so I don't think it's going to pull all the way over here, but this is fantastic for Team Razer because of the fact that they've seen 3 zones in 4 games pull over towards this side. As we do get a scan and find out exactly where this one's going to be. It is going to be heavy on the survey side, so Applejack's in a phenomenal position here. They just need to not throw because they're literally in probably the best building right now, or one of the top 5 spots to be, is Clean. Going to have to hit a Phoenix kit, and now it looks like Kenny going to have to get in over towards the drone mode, and he doesn't even go outside with that one. Instead, he's just going to put it over towards the door so they watch that side. But now all the teams starting to rotate over there, and if you haven't hit a scan yet, it's going to be difficult to find out exactly where this one's going to be. But now Kenny going to get inside that drone and try to find out exactly where these players are. And I'd love to see them fly this thing around instead of being so passive with the drone. You could literally get free information right now, and instead he's just going to play it passive. So not sure what Kenny's doing. There you go.
He's just getting a free B-roll for our observers. That's all he's doing right now. But yeah, now he is going to go ahead and peek outside. 4 squads in the immediate area, so they do have to be careful. He's going to call it back for now because he wants to make sure that doesn't go down. This EMP is going to be massive for them to try and slow down any pushes that might come their way, but the action has slowed down. There we go. Spots one out. Knows one is playing there with a triple take. We'll see if he gets any other information. He's just playing drone simulator over here right now. As Kenny is he's just having fun there in the corner.
Do. I mean, the thing is about crypto is fly that drone around. Who cares if it kills it? It's coming back in 30 seconds anyway. So the best thing to do as crypto is fly around and try to greet people's doors with their Watson fences. So if you see someone not blocking the door on the enemy teams, we take a look at fight that's going on with Comeback over here. Inside of a building on the fragment side, you're going to have tons of caustic traps, so it's going to be super tough to get. As he's going to shoot this little sliver over here and finally get that kill, but this zone is pulling away from them, and they're going to have to eventually rotate. Safe right now, but going back to crypto, the best thing, again, is look for people not blocking their doors and look for enemy Watsons to have fence inside the doors, and then you blow the doors up by opening them. So you're going to see another EMP coming in over here, and this time Comeback going to be taken down super low. Everybody crowding in the toilet.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. Just seeing they're trying their best to stabilize, and Team NPL might have done them a favor. We saw some poking going across, might have stopped the push on to that squad right now as NPL still need to find a way into this ring right now. We'll see which side they decide to try to push up on, as they are taking their time. This is a squad that does like to fight on the edges. They're trying to find anyone here, but you got to imagine that by this point, everyone is in survey.
Yeah, if you can play ahead of them, north side under the bridge is a super good spot to be. So if they can rotate past this team and past the team that's over towards the truck, they're going to be in a really good spot, but that's way easier said than done as we take a look at these nice charge rifle shots coming in through the window. Love the 3x on this thing. And we know they've done some damage this game. Look at top right, 3 kills just on Dracos alone. But this is a tough spot to be. They literally have to portal past these teams and get over towards the bridge into this choke, and then they'll be gatekeeping both of these teams.
They are making their move now. There's one on the platform, and we saw one inside the house as well. You got to be careful making this move because they know there's also a team still stuck in Fragment West that they have to watch out for. It's Bambino leading the charge for his squad as they try and wrap around these Watson fences, taking damage, but they do have cover to work with. Now they are making their way on in. Looks like this area might have actually just been abandoned here as they're freely able to move up.
This is big. Instead of worrying about the team over towards the left, they just rotate towards them. They're safe. Now they may deal with a team that's in a similar position than they were just at. But you saw Roddy come through, use his Q, get over towards the top. And you have so much charge rifle ammo here and the Volt. This is a perfect spot to be in as a Gibraltar. You can literally do so much damage. You have pick potential. You also can fight up close, and you're going to get this free charge up on the Evo. He could even charge up his teammates to red if he wanted to. If I was him, I would just swap that out. Say, Bambino, Ronnie, give me your armor, and you could get this for free over here. You have so much ammo on Dracos.
Yeah, what's crazy is that they were given this spot for free as every other team tried to move in over to towards Survey, and they're doing a good job of just even keeping up the Watson fences up. And so they've got free defenses. They're basically playing a Watson position without a Watson, and now they are getting some good damage off. Drake goes with the knock onto Irid. That was one of the players that was stuck in Fragment West. Now they made a very wide rotation to the western side, and they are getting punished for it.
Yeah, and then you have a fight over here with 2 brains, 1 controller, who's been great at predicting the circles here on the building that they were having shots on. But like you were saying, Jamerson, so surprised to see that that spot was evacuated and so free. It's such a dominant position, and that was a great job by Dracos getting those kills. But you've seen 2 brains, 1 controller get in the right spot tons of times, and now they do have to move. I think they were expecting this one to come a little bit more towards them, and that's going to be the team that they have to worry about over towards the right-hand side. So this is going to be a pretty tough fight. I wonder if they're going to take this one, or if they're just going to take the peaceful route and just try to rotate early.
Yeah, they do have positions there on the southwest side of the next ring. They've got a lot of boxes to wrap around with, and they don't have to fully commit on to Team NPL here. And so right now, teams can take their time, but that position you were talking about earlier, just there at the exit of the tunnel, playing right underneath it, underneath that bridge, can be an extremely strong position. And it looks like it's Team NPL who have the priority to try and rotate there if they so please. It looks like now they are ready to make their move. Bambino checking ahead of them, checking for that squad to their west.
Played this circle many times. The best thing for 2 brains, 1 controller to do would be just take the left side route, go over there. You're probably going to have to deal with a team that's sitting on the high ground eventually. You're most likely going to have teams inside of that train tunnel. I'm just wondering which team it's going to be, and under that bridge is exactly where you want to be, because you're going to be so safe from multiple areas, but you have to deal with survey and you have to start getting information now. There's only 40 seconds, so you have to decide who's where, and there's the 4 hostiles detected. So it's a late scan. They're all going together. No Beast of the Hunt pop. This is when Team NPL really needs to put it together and find a good spot to hold.
Yeah, right now they do have this rock to work with, but it looked like there were Watson traps set underneath that tunnel, underneath that bridge. And so they won't be able to play for it now, but they can still play here on the edge. They know that there are still a number of squads over by Survey who haven't made the rotation yet. And so this is an opportunity for them to pick up a lot of KP.
Looking at a team that's been in Survey fairly long, as we take a look at Team Rockstar making the rotation and also getting kills there onto Team Razer. It's going to be Zeratricky that drops. Hakula is going to drop to Glane. So this is going to be 2 teams within the vicinity. And as we're talking about a team over towards the top that 2 brains, 1 controller had to deal with, they are locking down that top side area, which is a very powerful position to be at. But we're taking a look at Team Cheez-Its over here in a maze, wondering if he's going to have to pop this Caustic ult or not. They are going to be safe on the zone here over towards the top side. Nice armor swap coming in here. And there's the ult coming in. I'm wondering what team this is going to be.
They are getting caught out in it. Dracos will be able to get the knock on to Lion, and now Applejacks. Team Applejacks are only left with Clane, who will be able to actually clean that one up. But now Clane's in a difficult spot here. No armor swap for him as the defensive bombardment narrowly misses him, and he survives for now. Oh, but there comes another team. There we go. He will get cleaned up. That will be Team Rockstar to come in to pick that one up. And now take a look at the next ring pole. It goes down towards the southwest outside of the exit of the tunnel.
Yeah, fairly certain you have a lot of pick potential here coming out from, oh, there it is, NPL still. I was going to say Dracos has been alive this entire time, picking up kills. This is by far the best game we've seen NPL play. Still, again, with that charge rifle, 80 shots is just insane to have at that point in the game. And he's been able to have amazing angles, not only clearing people out over towards the side, but dominating underneath this bridge has been the play for NPL. Like you said, I can't believe they got the trailer for free. Whatever team left that position made a huge mistake, but NPL over here working on the side, 112 with the massive and the finish. Woo! These guys are on fire right now.
That was an excellent flank coming up from Bambino. He spots out just a small enough ledge for him to climb up. He's able to do that, but here it is, a third party coming out. Rakanishu gets cleared, but Matt Pickett will be able to trade it back 1-for-1 as Team NPL now winning out in the exchange. Matt Pickett has gone down. And they will see Team NPL backing away to try and stabilize off of this. They got to fight the first battle here, finish this one out now as they are on the hunt to finish off this Watson. They will be able to get it. FA 8 seconds gone. Will they be able to recover Bambino, though? He is just crawling around, still safe in zone. But as it is the final squads remaining here, will the bubble res be enough?
I wonder if they got the res on the other side, too. Could be a potential 3-on-3 here as Bambino's taking huge damage. Great bubble there, waiting for that one to come up. Ronnie's shots have been on point, but they got to win this fight if they want all of their points. They're in the zone. They're going to be able to gatekeep right here, hold this high ground, which is great. 2 medkits need to be hit fairly soon, but love the way NPL is playing this one as we get a good shot of how many players there are. They did get the res on both sides, and they're just playing this little corner here. So you got a full heal if you're NPL. One grenade would change everything. I'd be checking these boxes for a nade.
Yeah, they're trying to clear the Watson generator as well, and here it is. Some nades coming in. Damage not coming across. Crummy's going to try and port his team out of here. Never mind, that was just a Q on in to try and go for the flank, but he's taking so much damage. His armor has been cracked. Matt Pickett, though, has picked up one knock onto Ronnie. Rakanishu will finish him off, but they do trade away. Bambino will be able to pick up one now. Crummy and Rakanishu looking to close this one out. Crummy with barely a sliver of HP, but it's enough as Team Rockstar take the win.
Battle of the drinks, man. Team Rockstar winning that one. Team NPL had such a great game up to that point, and you got to be impressed with the way that they were playing. I mean, Dracos, great shots with the Volt, with the charge rifle, but unfortunate that they were able to get both of the res. NPL didn't push the opportunity when they had it. They let 2 players get res on Team Rockstar's side, and Team Rockstar just wins that 3v3 cleanly.
Yeah, just unfortunate that they didn't really have enough nades to try and punish that, but it was a really great choice by Crummy to go in with that into the void to draw the attention away from the rest of his team. I mean, that's what the Wraith is supposed to do, right? Try and get the aggro from the squad. They were able to push up, and it just became a dirty fight. And we know Matt Pickett, when he's allowed time with that Prowler to do work, he will definitely lay in the damage.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And they had the high ground there for Team NPL with no grenades. If they were able to just kill that generator, 1 grenade, everybody's trapped in the corner. Doesn't matter what type of grenade it is because everybody's going to have to filter out right into your shots. Instead, they got too aggressive. They took different positions. They took too long to heal, first of all. And I just don't think they were on the same page and ready for Team Rockstar to push out at the right time. Great job by Team Rockstar, but still NPL, I feel like, had the most points in that game with the amount of frags they had.
This was, like you had mentioned, also one of the best games that we've seen out of Team NPL so far. We're more used to seeing Ronnie ratting it out for the placement points for them, but this was great. They were able to play edge, pick up KP along the way, and we kept mentioning it. It was amazing how often they were able to just live that hermit life, that hermit crab life, that like Hotzik would say, where they were able to just bounce from position to position, get free Watson traps as well, and they just played that extremely well.
Yeah, that's such a fun zone to play, and they played it perfectly. Again, getting that freebie over towards the right-hand side. While it is free, you have to work for that one, and you have to make the decision because they could have easily just charged 2 brains, 1 controller, got narrow-minded on, just focusing on the team that's in front of them, would have said, hey, this spot's already taken. But just going and checking that spot is a veteran play, so we finally got a chance to see what Team NPL is about.
Yeah, and so I'm definitely excited to see. Remember, this is just week 1. We've got a 3-month season going on here all the way through January. So a lot of time for them to grow, a lot of time for them to definitely show us what they've got, because we, like we said, didn't get to see as much of them. That they picked up a lot of points along the way, basically off of placements coming out from E-Boy and Ronnie, who doing some basically Houdini level magic for his squad over and over again. And so, congratulations, of course. It was just a great finish for Team Rockstar there.
Yeah, it was. And again, you don't want to take anything from Team Rockstar. It's just we've seen Team Rockstar go and, dominate games before. But again, like you were saying, we haven't seen MPL come through and play this well and just play as a unit this well. So it's nice to see what they're capable of. And now they're going to, continue to build confidence off of that. And it's great that they're doing it on the first day.
All right, we're going to take a short break, well, a longer break, as we have reached halftime. When we get back, it'll be the final 4 games of the night for Series E here, day number 1. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E, as we have already reached the halfway point. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to see exactly where everything has landed. And you got to imagine that right now, yep, Team Intel up on top with 49 points, but 2 brains, 1 controller, definitely using their full brains to full capacity there. They've been able to make it to the late game after late game now with 46 points there in second place.
Yeah, they've been in phenomenal positions numerous times, but a lot of teams starting to catch up right there. This leaderboard's looking a lot closer than we started this one. A lot of teams within striking distance. Basically, everybody on this list still a contender to win this one, but Team Intel coming out, we know where they're landing over towards the sorting factory side, and so many pulls over towards the north side. It's been pretty impressive for them, but you got to feel for the teams landing on the south side. I'm wondering, is halftime going to be the south side circles? Because 3 out of 4 over towards the Skyhook side is brutal.
Yeah, but we're also seeing what happens when you play a little bit too center oriented. So two brains, one controller. Even though they've been able to make it to the late game quite often, they're not finding as much KP as you would like to, especially if you're playing like an edge composition. We're seeing some of these edge teams right now with the Gibraltars, with the Bloodhounds. They're able to find these fights and pick up KP early on in the game.
Yeah, and you're looking at Team Rockstar's landing spot. Again, all of these have been over towards the north side. They won the previous game after dropping on that south, south side of the map. So we'll see again where these ones go. I'm looking maybe like a Harvester side. I can't even tell you the last time I saw a train ending, which train endings are always a really good time. So I want to see something away from Skyhook. Please, game number 5, give us something.
Yeah, this seems to be the only opportunity we ever get to see the southern side of the map here, as we are on board with Team Rockstar right now, just looting it up. And this is a squad that can take their time to loot up if they want to. They've got the Gibraltar to play edge if they have to. They've got the replicators as well. If we can go ahead and take a look at the map to see exactly what is in. Never mind. Nope, there's a fight right now as Team Absolute Monarchy getting challenged down here over by Dome, and they're going to be able to pick up 2 KP for free as Dunce Bagel is just left to get toasted by the lava side.
Yep, it's called Naked and Afraid, Jamerson. They have a show about it, and that's exactly what Dunce Bagel is right now. And Team 7s, if I saw a Revenant on the enemy team, I'd immediately be pushing them as well, because Revenant's just not part of the meta right now. He was a couple months ago. Not sure if these guys got the memo, but we got the memo. It's a staging ending. Maybe over towards Lava Fisher in between would be a good spot too, as we see pings going down over towards there. And one player is already trying to lock down that building by himself. So I think that's probably the team that was over towards the Lava Fisher side.
Yeah, Team 7's going to want to turn that around into Team L's, because that's what they took down there over by Dome. But we got to see the Replicator, and oh no, so does this person in front of him. It's Stunny making a huge blunder, just running out, and he will get finished off. But yeah, if you're a Wingman fan, this Replicator was definitely for you. As we saw, it was the Wingman along with the purple mag and the Skull Piercer here. You saw even Team Cheese It really going to cheese that box as well, leaving a caustic trap right on top of it. And so with how close they are to the edge of this next ring, they can camp this banner for as long as they want.
They really can, but I feel like they should probably start to rotate through. I mean, it is smart to take one of the better teams out of this one, especially one of the partner teams, and try to make it so they're playing at a disadvantage. But I feel like because it is far, that they are going to want to try to get in just a little bit closer and maybe try to get some kills as they try to gatekeep. But taking a look at Vouch, this is one of the teams that put down some early pings, and they're going to have a Watson with sniper rifles. So if they want to set up, which it looks like they're going to do, they're in a decent position to do so. So getting to the zone early, we'll see how that pans out for them later on in the game, as there is going to be a while until teams figure out exactly where this zone is going to be, and it's going to take them a while to even push towards this spot.
Yeah, Team Cheez It, though, looks like they might have found another fight, having rotated now on all the way over to Refinery. It's never mind the leftovers, as Sung gets knocked by nades, and now there's only one left for that squad as they are trying to finish them off now. Looking anywhere, but slowly but surely they will finish this team off.
Yeah, this is like me looking at the crumbs at the bottom of my cheese. It's trying to get every little every little bit here as Sung is going to get taken out. And there's the final player. He dipped out over towards the rope, and they're going to have sight lines on this too with the triple take. So I highly doubt they're going to let this player get away, as they're probably going to use a portal if they need to, which is coming up in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, just the Gibraltar left now for the squad here. As Team Cheez It, they want to just pick up the extra KP, and that's what we were talking about. Finding those early fights, getting that. And of course, the longer you make it in this game, the longer you're able to survive, the more likely you are to pick up KP at the end of the game as well. And so they're just being proactive throughout the entirety of this match here, as we have hit the halfway mark. And so teams need to start really starting to pick up the pace and start popping off.
Strictly doing some nice moves there on the zip line as he's going to dip out. And it's the nice thing about playing this edge is you can run around and do some crazy stuff like this. You know, you landed over here and you have all this real estate towards yourself. The Harvester team already got out of there. Everybody's rotated through because they're trying to get to this spot right here where Team Pop-Tarts is, and this zone is going to pull. And they're holding over towards this lava side. I love that nade coming through. Farmer Lucas taking some great angles too, but a nice job closing and blocking the door there. That Watson really just saving the team on the top floor.
That was a great call. They know that the third party is also just waiting imminently, so they don't fully engage onto that. As you can see, there's another team in the building across the way from them, and so they're just going to play this patiently for now. If he had gotten the stick with that Arc Star, possibly they go in, but they have to play this smart, they have to play this patiently, and they will wait this one out.
Yeah, you're in a great position here, and you have crypto, so as long as you're safe, you can continue to fly around with the drone and close the doors around you, and again, try to grief enemy doors. That's the big thing that you can do for crypto. It allows nades to get inside, so he is going to go inside this drone form and look around. See, there's one door that's griefed right there. Now they got to look for the other door, and they can also figure out exactly how many teams are around here. So nice job. Both of the doors are griefed now. They have the drone. Gets destroyed, but now it gives them enough information to decide what they want to do. And now Fat Fruit Ninja has to hold this one because you can't hold the bottom floor here, lose both your doors, and the generators are going to continue to be more and more valuable as you may not have that many ultic cells over towards that side. But we're taking a look at Team Pringles over here. Nice shots with just the red dot coming in as the knock is going to get on from Tempest and Blake, but this isn't the fight that we're watching. So a totally different fight over towards the Harvester side and a lot of caustic stink gas in the middle.
Yeah, as Team Pringles just taking their time. They are in the ring, so no big rush for them right now. Heavy focus to try and get those purple Evos. His hundreds is just 49 shots, 49 damage away. So just a couple more shots and he will be able to secure that for himself. As, yeah, without having a recon legend on their roster, they don't have that ring information. So they're going to spend their time slowly getting in on this. Hundreds taking a little bit of damage there. Should reconnect with his team now as things should be slowing down, but never mind. No, it looks like they want to go aggressive as there are so many teams now starting to funnel into Harvester. Rockstar trying to push in right now. Crummy with that Mastiff wasn't able to quite connect, but now there we go. They'll be able to finish off Hill. And this was the fight. This was what we were seeing earlier on as Hill goes down. We'll see if Team Rockstar can gain this high ground.
Love that patient play from Crummy there. Just didn't overextend because what if a teammate came over towards the right side, knew that that player was going to eventually have to rotate outside the ramp and he'd have just free shots on him. Fortunately, that player was weak, and that was a free kill as they're going to start to snowball this one and try to death ball inside over towards Harvester, and they're going to be rewarded with some death boxes because of that one. But checking his entire back, making sure no one's coming over towards behind him, and this is what Team Rockstar's been doing for quite some time. They love to play the edge. They love to take these small skirmishes, and they're going to push right on at Team Pringles.
Yeah, Pringles took a lot of damage here, but there is the port out for them. We'll see if they have Watson traps set up on the edge of that as well. Looks like Pringles want to go for a full-on disengage, and they should be safe to do so. So good shot calling coming out from Stink here to get his squad out of trouble, not overcommitting onto a fight that could have gone really bad for them. Now they have the opportunity to just go ahead and rotate in as we can see the next ring for them. Team Intel, though, still looking to try and recover Hill if they can, but they've only got 20 seconds left on that banner. And we know that there's a full 3-man on the other side. Teen backs away from that one.
Teen's a smart player here, though, so he's going to try to decide if it's worth it or not. And after seeing all of those players there and the good shots and awareness, once you saw multiple players snap onto Teen, that's when he realized he had to get out of there. It wasn't just a 1v1. He couldn't poke that player off. That means the communication from the other team, which was Team Rockstar, is strong, which is going to tell him that that's a good team that is camping that banner. So he's going to get out of there and start to rotate. But the thing is Team Pringles could have got over towards the top here and just gate kept all of these teams. And that's why I'm happy for Team Pringles that they decided to make this decision. But now that intel has gone on to them, maybe Rockstar is going to rotate for a third party.
And they've got to be careful. There's a Gibraltar on the other side. Casellos can drop down a bubble to get aggressive whenever he wants to. It looks like Team Intel are just going to try and get out of dodge as Teen makes his way back on over towards Snake there. The ping's already coming out from Team Pringles. They're not going to overchase on this one. They know that there are multiple teams still in the area, but never mind. It's a full 3-man drop onto the building here as they start making chase.
He said, what'd you say, Jamerson? Play it safe? No thanks. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to full send it and backtrack away from the zone to chase a team of 2. And now Rockstar has made their rotation extremely quick, and they're going to take a fight. And I love this high ground coming in for Crummy, but he's going to get shots from the scout across the map, and that's going to give away his position. But there's the clamor coming in from the Watson. That's going to be AMG. Decoys falling down. No batteries for Crummy, but he's going to pop that with the gold armor and re-heal. And this is what you love to see from Team Rockstar. Again, they specialize in these small skirmishes here, dropping 1 player from AMG. 2 players from AMG now, and most likely that last player is going to leave. So they go and wrap left, take the high ground, and don't even deal with Team Intel or Team Pringles. Speaking of Team Intel, they're stuck, and now they're out of the game.
Yeah, they got cleaned up there, and it was just a matter of time as Pringles slowly suffocated them out, chasing them all the way towards the edge of the map. And Team Pringles should be safe to get on board with Team Cheez-It, though. They're already down 2. Mr. Haculo with that Prowler Mastiff combo taking out 2. And now they're just left with nades here. And, you know, typically you don't want to be the last one remaining to be your crypto player. As we are joining Team NPL, who are playing the south side of this map on the northern parts of Thermal.
I gotta say, these games have been extremely competitive. We still have 17 squads left. Even when a couple players get down, the last player is typically making it away. And sometimes we've even seen some reses go off as Bird is going to finish off Sleepy Panda, and that's going to drop down to 16 squads. So next team to die, and not going to get any points for placement, but it's going to start to get pretty tough here as that team in the choke is in a great spot to gatekeep everybody out towards this thermal side.
Yeah, so Team Razer and Team Rice Krispies putting an end to them now as Team Rockstar still playing here on the southern side, ready to make the push. You got Crummy on the high ground, taking control of this building slowly but surely. He's on the ledge on the outside, has the massive out. That's a massive hit. He instantly goes for that kick. Oh, opens the door, hits another for 67 and then a 13. He's done so much damage, which allows Rakanishu and Matt Pickett to get on in. They will pick up 2, and Team Rockstar are rolling.
Oh man, they just dominated. Who was that inside of the building that just got stomped like that? I think it was Team NPL coming through, not playing the door correctly at all, but it was just the movement coming in from Crummy. It looked like he had the outlines on the way he was moving. He had intel on the player towards the bottom floor, which means he's going to rotate over towards the top. Then he's going to go over towards the top. The player doesn't even look at him. He hits a 112. The Bloodhound doesn't block the door. Neither of them block the door. He opens it up and gets a free massive shot. It's not how you play that one if you're on the team on the inside. Team Rockstar really starting to turn up in these fights.
Yeah, and Crummy giving chase. They want to finish this all off. That's going to be extra KP for them in just a moment. But Crummy is taking so much damage now. He has to back away. They're just going to go ahead and tag someone else, and it's Rakanishu with the help of Matt Pickett to finish off GS Bird.
Yeah, so again, I'm not sure exactly what full team that was, but man, Rockstar played that well, especially Crummy, and you can see what the thought process is where they're going to send the Gibraltar and the Wraith there. It's going to be Rakanishu and Crummy to go and charge for the kills so they can bait and switch. Meanwhile, you're going to have the Watson locking down the building as we take a look at Team Pringles, who's been in a lot of action so far this game, and looks like they just rotated far from out of the zone into the choke and all the way around. And when you do that, that means you don't have much information on what's in front of you, and you're hoping to come behind a team here. And it looks like they have a couple pings going down and a lot of real estate to make up.
Yeah, they also need to heal up. Don't know if they've got it or not. Stink is sitting there with about 30 HP. Crummy! Oh, you do not climb up on him right now. I don't know who that is, but they are already regretting that decision as they poured on back here. Team Rockstar ready to start making their advance. Now jumping on over. They'll be able to finish that one off. It's Count Dooku to go down. Now, as they rotate on over to the left-hand side, there's still another squad in front of them here as you see that Wraith Cube being popped. Crummy's got the angle, got the spray down with that bolt. They're doing so much damage as they are safely in the circle, so they can slowly pressure that squad. They're going to go ahead and drop down that Watson generator. There's someone on top of the rock. Rakanishu needs to be careful here. Instead, he's still able to hold up top for now as Crummy backs away. We'll even go ahead and use that cell because they've got so much econ to work with now. They're going to go ahead and climb up.
This is great. The zone pulled over towards their side. They can just big chill and they're going to be in a great spot, but you're going to have Team Razer with some great Prowler shots over here. That Select Fire 2X just doing some serious work. Still has 200 bullets, too. Doesn't matter if he's out in the open. He's still going to put down serious damage, but now he gets taken out. That's going to be 2 brains, 1 controller knock. Getting the knock there onto Hakulo. There goes the bubble coming in from Zeratricky. Not sure if he's going to even be able to hit that one, though, and he's going to just dip set out as you have Team Rockstar now taking full control of the map. If they're able to push this team out over towards the north side, they're going to get all of these kills as they rotate in.
Yeah, there you go. Rakanishi will be able to pick that
over.
one up. So Expensive Agents go down now. We're down to 7 squads, 16 players remaining. And Team Rockstar have already cleared out, like you said, the entire southern side of this ring. Don't know if there are many more Pathfinders available. We got to see, I believe, Complexity make that rotate across the rocks on the eastern side here. And so Matt Pickett, he knows the position they're in. He's going to go ahead and set them up for success with those traps. They've even got a PK along with the R9 to finish this one all out. They are looking pretty, sitting pretty here to finish this one off.
They're in insane position right now. Team Rockstar has everything in front of them. If they want to win this one, they can get multiple armor swaps. They have every type of grenades, ammo, guns that they want to choose from. They just need to keep everything in front of them and get the kills as they come. But it looks like they should send one person to clear their back out. The other 2 just watch everything else. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. Crummy's going to be the guy, and they're going to be pleasantly surprised when they see that nothing is behind them. Everything's in front of them.
Yeah, it's about utilizing everything the other squads gifted you. Look at the Pathfinder zip lines that were set up as well, and so that affords them options. Team Razer now playing on the back foot. The zone's going to start closing shortly here. Now they're on the low ground here. Have to climb up. They don't even know what they're climbing into. They don't have the info. As every squad pushing into that choke point right now, it's just going to be a complete massacre. Kenny will go down, and now Team Pringles, they have made it here to the north side. They've got the bubble down, but you got to imagine the pinch is about to come in.
I'm so shocked that Team Rockstar hasn't clapped these guys from behind yet. It looks like Pringles is going to be able to pick up a lot of these kills, but no, Rakanishu is going to take an off angle here. Pickett's going to take an off angle. They're going to allow these guys to do the damage in front of them. Then they come in from behind with the great massive shots. Rakanishu laying down some serious damage here. He should be able to get a free armor swap here, and now all the players are going to be left in front of them. And should be getting some sort of skirmish going on, too. So perfectly played there by Team Rockstar, almost baiting Pringles into thinking they had the superior spot.
We're somehow down to 3 squads remaining here. Applejacks, they're still a 2-man, but it's the ring pulling away from them now as well. And so, Team Rockstar, once again, in prime position. They've got the God spot, they've got the ring, and they've got the numbers to close this one out. They were also just picking up frag after frag after frag. And so this is going to be a massive game for them.
Lion down to 1 battery after this one, and once that's gone, it's going to be so difficult for him to try to get this poke off here, as you know that Team Rockstar is going to have a ton of resources. They're going to have a ton of kills too. They have the zone. They have armor swaps. This is the perfect position to be in. The question is how many more KP can they get? Can they pick off both the players on this team and then potentially more after that? Most likely a rat that's left here just waiting for these guys to duke it out, as we haven't seen any type of presence from a 3-man team here in quite some time, and it's going to be Sleepy Boys here crouching around the corner, not even making a sound or a peep, as he does want to try to get this second place. But it's going to be a 3v2v1 here for the game.
Yeah, they currently have 12 kill points, I believe, as well, across the 3 of them. So this is a massive game if they can pick up the last 3 KP as well. 15, 27 overall points on the board for them right now, as Team Applejacks are trying their best to at least secure second place. That is what they're looking for. Lion now coming in with that Q, has to be careful. Found a small angle to work with, but I love what Crummy's done. He set himself a low ground angle. They have gotten rid of Team Applejacks, and Team Rockstar pick up every last point in the lobby, and they get the +12 here for a massive game.
Well, if you're wondering how to play that zone, that's exactly how you do it. Team Rockstar just putting on a clinic. Again, so surprising to see that these teams haven't been met with more resistance, just like we saw NPL take the trailer in the previous game over towards the side. This time it's Team Rockstar just waltzing up to the hill into the God spot. Not sure where the team holding the God spot went, but it looks like they got flustered from a team from behind, possibly pushed, maybe lost a couple of guys, and Team Rockstar just moseys on in, baits Team Pringles into doing all the damage, steals all the kills, and just mopped up the entire lobby.
Yeah, that was just fantastic control of the map and just understanding the position that they were in and also utilizing the tools that were left there for them by the other squads. And you even saw they were crossing off every T, dotting every I there, pulling out every armor so that they didn't have to panic if they needed an armor swap. So I just love that they had a very measured way to close out that game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, another popular zone here, but Team Rockstar has been putting on a clinic, and we were on board with them a handful of times. We saw how far they have to rotate. Remember, they're over towards the Lava City side. They were over towards Harvester. They were getting in fights back and forth. They had that skirmish with, I think, Intel and Pringles. Again, Pringles ended up right next to them, hand in hand, but they took the high angle. Team Rockstar let Pringles do all the damage and again mopped up all those kills. I bet Pringles thought they were doing such a great job, which they did, even advancing that far and getting into that rock. But there was just so many teams, at least 6 teams on that side.
Yeah, it was incredible to see. Typically, we don't have that many teams funneled that hard over there, but again, it was just a good control of the chokes, and you got to see that no teams were really able to move because it was just a complete pileup of all the squads there. But yeah, that's game number 5, and you have to imagine with a win like that, Rockstar should be able to catapult themselves into first place. We'll have the leaderboard in just a moment to take a look to see exactly where we are because after game 5 you got to imagine there's a huge shakeup in the leaderboard.
Definitely, but that's what Team Rockstar does, and that's what a lot of these teams that are partnered do. They just come through and put together these huge games. And remember, we saw wins coming around with maybe 8 frags, 20 points in general. Eventually one of these teams is going to burst this lobby open and do exactly what Team Rockstar just did, and they were already going to be over towards the top of the leaderboard too. So I think that had to be somewhere around a 30-point game going forward, if not more, and that's what they specialize in. Again, once they're able to find these fights, they get going, they get the confidence, and also they don't get third-partied. They put up huge points.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short break. We got a small word from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is Series E.
It's Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws. They're Jumbo.
Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Eat your cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go.
It's Jumbo. It's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
Short word. There we go. We're about to head into game number 6 here for Series E, and it's been a long night, but we still have 3 more games to go. There's a lot to play for. Of course, $500 on the line. And so it's only the top 2 that'll be placing into the money. So it's really important here to be consistent to make sure that you're not falling behind. Let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to see exactly who is leading the pack for right now. And it is Team Rockstar with 66 points on the board. 2 brains, 1 controller, finally getting knocked down a peg there into second place.
Yeah, but look at Team Crafting too doing a nice job. We have seen them putting up some pretty solid games, but had no idea they were sitting in 4th place. So phenomenal job by them. NPL sitting over here towards the top 5. Razer, we've been waiting for them to come through and have a big game like they normally do. Keep in mind, they were number 1 in points in terms of the qualifications going into this tournament and to begin with. So really expecting big things from them, but Team Rockstar really putting on a clinic in the previous game. And I'm wondering who's going to answer that, right? Is it going to be Team Intel, who's been over towards the top? 2 brains, 1 controller. They haven't been really fragging out that hard. They've been more getting in towards the center of the zone and predicting things very well while picking up some kill points on the way. So a lot of different play styles right here and definitely different team compositions. You're seeing a Gibraltar Bloodhound composition coming in first place, and then you're going to see the Crypto coming in second.
Yeah, we've also got some Pathfinder teams, but it's been some slow learning for a lot of people at this point. As I think people are still adjusting to having them back in the composition, exactly how to play them for right now. But as we are getting game number 6 ready, it's just Team Rockstar who have finally found their way into a really great end game. That's 2 in a row for them so far, and they're doing a fantastic job of it, even when the rings are pulling away. I mean, that's one of the things that the Gibraltar allows you to do when you have to play the edge there. That bubble can be a huge lifesaver multiple times across one game.
Yeah, and they do it so well. You watch the way that Rakanishu plays Gibraltar, and he's making prediction plays, before anybody else is expecting him, right? Perfect bubbles, great responses with the defensive bombardment, and that's so important. A lot of people will just adapt Gibraltar into their team composition and then refuse to master him, refuse to play him in ranked, and be like, okay, I'm only going to play him tournaments or scrims. Rakanishu is a true Gibraltar player, and you could tell, and the way that he's able to protect his team. And when you're playing with a good Gibraltar like that, nothing's better because you get knocked, you're getting bubble res before you can even say anything, and that just creates a chain effect around everybody on their team, because Gibraltar's almost like, it's almost like a quarterback, right? But it's weird because Wraith is supposed to be the quarterback of the team, but a good Gibraltar typically is leading all of these team fights because it's all about working around the bubble.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like, of course, they look very comfortable fighting around the bubble as well. Other teams are a little bit slow on the learn how to actually handle that right now. But we've seen that they've been running this composition for a long time. Matt Pickett has been picking up the Watson, but he's still super aggressive with it. And here we go. We got replays of Team Rockstar, and this is the fight over at Harvester, where initially they pick off one, I believe, from Team Pringles. That's Hill going down.
Yeah, that's Team Intel right there. And that's who you got to take out because they're sitting over towards the top of the leaderboard right next to you. But we were talking about the patience that he had. And also, Crummy has played fantastic in these skirmishes too, right? Getting up towards the high ground, this Watson climbs up from AMG, completely demolishes them while backing down and taking some damage, but also hitting the cell with the gold armor. So getting that high ground first is the big brain play. That's exactly what you want to do right there. But what do you know? You got Rakanishu playing it well behind you. You have Pickett playing it correctly as well. And he's got the correct combination. You have the Prowler in his hands. And this is what was so impressive. This fight right here, where he just dominates this door.
Yeah, the massive, huge hits, taking out that Wraith, and the threat of that knock onto the door. Look at how many people are just looking at that door while Matt Pickett and Rakanishu just come up and walk up those stairs for free.
Yeah, that's the fight that really gets your confidence going. And we've already seen a lot of action, and they were continuing the action throughout the majority of the time. That's why it was so fun to watch this game in the entirety, because they were gatekeeping. They were the teams adding the pressure. Then all of a sudden they were the team in the middle pushing everybody out. So it was just a lot of fun to see from their point of view how they're able to take all these different fights, all these different angles. And it does start with Crummy coming through and opening things up, and then the rest of the teams coming right behind them. But this is what we were talking about, where Team Pringles feels like they're safe, doesn't realize that all of Team Rockstar is sitting behind them, just waiting to pick off their kills, and that's exactly what they did. It was a nice job getting to this point, but they didn't have any chance the way that Team Rockstar played it.
Yeah, Rockstar actually just came in and yoinked almost every single kill. I think Casello's only picked up one knock during that rotation now from everyone else. And so this is why we're going to see them pick up so much KP. Right there, Rakanishu's at 6. I believe at this point, Crummy was at 5, or maybe it was Matt Pickett at 5. But it was absolutely insane. We got one more short break before we head into game number 6. We'll be right back after this one, guys.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack.
Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen and I didn't listen.
Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
That was like the best commercial. We get a double whammy. We got Rick and Morty's and Pringles. Like, I didn't know that actually existed. That's awesome.
We're in the commercial.
Yeah.
We're trapped inside of it.
Little bits. We're waiting for game number 6. We had a lobby restart going on, and that's why we are waiting right now. We thank you all for your patience at home. Of course, we've got 3 more matches to go, and that's what we're doing every night this entire season, 2 nights a week. Got 8 matches for you. Tomorrow, we get to see exactly how our 9 partnered teams shape up against the pros here in Apex Legends.
Yeah, and it's a great warm-up for these guys, and a lot of confidence has been built on a lot of different levels just from a couple of different games. To me, the most surprising thing has been that Team Razer hasn't snowballed after I think it was their Game 2 victory where they come through and win this 2 versus 3, and it was a phenomenal 2 versus 3 against 2 Brains 1 Controller who's sitting in second place. So I would really like to see Team Razer start to put it together, and I'm not sure why they haven't been able to put more points up when a lot of these zones have shifted their way.
Yeah, I mean, we see them. They are also one of those teams that like to kind of activate early, play for the late game themselves, try to find center zone, which is what we saw out of them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the drop of one of our partner teams. I believe this is Team Pringles, who end up dropping over there by launch site. And so maybe there's an opportunity for Team Pringles to play a little bit more proactively there on the southeast side of the map to try and go in for third parties or just try to pick up extra kills early on.
Yeah, and it's been a far walk for these guys. Again, nothing really going over towards that bottom side yet. We've seen Geyser, we've seen west side, we've seen a lot of north side, but nothing pull over towards the south side, nothing over towards launch site, nothing over towards Dome, nothing over towards Lava City. If that's going to be the case, expect another big game coming out from Team Rockstar because that's where they tend to dominate. So they're really good at rotating through, deciding what time they want to go through, and also deciding when they just want to sit back and hold a building.
Yeah, and so this is one of those drops that can be typically is contested when there are teams that like are kind of newer to the comp scene or not used to playing in tournaments. Just for the simple fact that it's a little bit on the edge of the map and it doesn't go contested often. But because of that, we end up seeing it actually getting contested really, really often. Teams just think like maybe this is a free drop, but you've got replicators to play around with. You've got a lot of loot to work with as well. Here we go, heading into game number 6 with Team Pringles. That's Stink, Casellos, and Hundreds. Game number 6. We got 3 more to go tonight, Tom.
Yep, gonna get an opportunity to see what loot they're gonna get and see if any teams have been contesting over towards this spot. I don't think we've seen any skirmishes ever since our first game because teams starting to have respect for the lobby now and always want to start things off with a purple light mag and a blue armor. That's a great start coming in for Hundreds. And I want to see Team Pringles get revenge on Team Rockstar here for stealing all their kills, man. That was brutal last game.
It really was. Castells, I saw only able to pick up 1. Over here at Harvester, though, Team Applejack's in a fight. It's the melee finish coming out from Klein as they will pick up 3 kill points early on. And so we're seeing, again, a lot of fighting off drop.
Yeah, Harvester is typically a place where you could fight and not get third-partied fairly early, but the problem with fighting at Harvester is that the loot there isn't the best, so you are going to lose some cells and some opportunities to get the full stack of things that you would typically get. So we'll see what Team Applejacks is going to do as we take a look at what zone this is going to be, and it looks like they are in the zone. So once we get the map, we'll find out exactly what's going on, but multiple blue armors here. And it doesn't look like they are going to try to do some armor swaps, so they are going to probably move out of Harvester and continue to make some plays over here as you do see that purple mag coming in. But nice fight coming in for Team Applejacks. I bet Klein was trying to get that finisher, though. I probably would have been a little upset I didn't get that one off.
Yeah, so not much going to happen here as you can see a lot of teams still just looting their area. I think that's one thing that teams will have to adjust to. The rotation timing is coming out from a lot of squads right now. Here we go. Applejacks are on the move, and this is the kind of typical timing we want to see around a minute 50 to a minute 30 where you start rotating out of your spot.
Yep, and you see where that zone was going to be. It's more sorting launch site area, so that means that the teams that we saw on that graphic are going to be a lot of the teams that you have to worry about on top of Team Applejacks. Well, what teams were those? It was Team Rockstar, you had Intel over there, and you had Team Pringles in the vicinity. So all of these top teams going to be located on where they think the zone's going to pull, but I feel like going over towards sorting would definitely be a safe bet right now.
Yeah, and they might even, like you said, play very, very far south here and give sorting factory a wide berth. They know that Team Intel is in the area, and so they will just go ahead and go all the way to the southern side of the map. They're going to try and avoid a lot of the early game fighting.
Yeah, so they're favoring a launch site zone, which means Team Pringles should be holding that spot too. So instead of rotating and worrying about the team on the tree side, they're going to go up and above as we take a look at a fight going on over towards No Name's side. Thought there was going to be some shots, but I think that's just Team Cheez-Its picking up their loot on the way, and they're going to have quite a rotation, and it's going to be fairly far. So without a Gibraltar, going to be a little bit difficult, but we take a look at Team Intel, and they're getting into it and getting their hands dirty over here.
Yeah, they're in a fight with Team Pringles once again. It's going to be a third party as well as Team Cheez-Its is involved. I believe pretty close up as Hill with that Prowler will be able to knock, but it's on to Casellos, and the third party is here, and it just means everyone else dies.
That's exactly what we were talking about. These were the teams in the area, so it's not too surprising to see them go toe-to-toe for the God spot this early. They're one of the fastest teams to rotate over here, so why not? This building is so valuable, but this is what happens when your Watson's down. You're not able to get the fences up. You are going to see a nice res coming out here. Perfect job there coming in from Kenny, getting his teammate back into it. As he's doing that, Lion is also adding a little bit of pressure. That's going to be Team NPL trying to hit this rotation and make their way in over towards these guys, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it right now because now it's taken so long that you have to worry about another third party, which is AMG from behind.
Yeah, AMG picking up two now. NPL are able to get out of dodge, but the issue is that they spent so much here. Nades along with meds. Now they find themselves in a really bad spot as they do have to back away. You don't even know if they're going to be able to safely get out of here. There we go. E-Boy running now with the port out to help Dracos, who's going to be stuck as that Gibraltar. I believe they used the bubble to get the res onto Bambino as well, so he doesn't have it quite yet. They safely make it out of dodge for now, but they don't have prime position. They do have time, though, to work with at least.
I like that play from Ronnie, playing it safe there, getting out of there, and just creating more opportunities for his teams. Because keep in mind, they're here early. They can start to gatekeep on this side. Nothing wrong with locking this building down and making sure no one gets over towards that tunnel. Because if you own that tunnel side, maybe another team gets distracted, just like AMG did and came in through the third party. But every squad that's been wiped so far, I believe, has been fighting for that spot besides the team that died over towards Harvester early. So that just goes to show where all the teams think this zone is going to pull and how popular and important it is to hold that building.
Now they were on the lurk over by tree, but they have to guard their back. They do not want to get flanked here, so they've got to be careful, as Bambino is doing a good job of holding the high ground in the building for them until he drops down. Looks like they maybe want to consider going over towards sorting, or will they go ahead and double back? They do have options and plenty of time to work with. This is just the first ring closing right now.
Yeah, and this is what they need to do. Just lock this spot down, make sure your back's clear, and focus on these teams in front of you. Again, there is going to be a lot of contention over towards this spot, and it looks like they spotted a rat out over here, and no one can rat on Ronnie. He knows all the spots, so that team is going to go and get the kill most likely, as they are going to send the queue up over towards the top. But I love this play coming in from Dracos. Why not use your ult? Just see if you can get any type of damage up there, push that team off the platform, maybe even finish that kill if you can, and that's exactly what he does, continuing to charge that Evo up so he can get over towards red, and Gibraltar on red is going to be hard to deal with. You have a great combination here, Scout, Volt. Just lock this spot down for quite some time if you're Team MPL.
And there we go. Stink gets finished off. It looks like he was the rat for his squad that got caught out. And now MPL, they've used a lot in this position, and they haven't been able to recover any of the loot from that big fight that took place down there. So they need to find a way to try and recover on their economy. But oh boy, Team Razer, of course, having to rotate all the way to the south, catching a team out, and that's going to be FA Info going down with Trinal Tech to follow as well. And so Team Razer, with this slow rotate, we're able to catch out a team. That's going to be 2 KP going their way. We'll see if they can get the third.
Taking a very interesting rotation. I believe they dropped on the Skyhook side. Now they found themselves all the way towards Thermal. So staying on that west side of the map, making their way down from the north side. And being rewarded with some kills there. I don't think they realized that that was even going to happen, but once it did, everybody was lined up, and I'm glad I'm not the only one that misses people coming out of the dropship there, as Mercy looked like my shots.
Yeah, but you know, I'll give it to Mercy. He's definitely laid out enough one clips where you're afforded a few misses here or there. Back on board with Team NPL right now, who are just full committed to playing on the edge here, trying to spot out another team. E-Boy Ronnie gonna go ahead and take a look from the high ground as the EMP comes out on top of them. It's only Bambino that gets hit by it. So the other squad will not push up off of this right now. Dracos, some damage on that Gibraltar, as they do get spotted out by that drone. They clear for now, and it's just the squad that's stuck here in tree.
Yeah, they've been going back and forth. Surprising that Ronnie has so many cells like you were talking about. They haven't been able to gobble up all of those resources from all of these knocks that have been happening, but it's going to be an aggressive portal play coming in from Ronnie, sensing weakness on this building, and probably going to take the roof here, but you got to be careful. A couple grenades coming in over towards the front door. You're going to be able to see through the glass here. It's exactly what he does. A couple pings coming down as well. Bambino hasn't even healed yet, so I'm not sure if he even has any cells, but doesn't matter. MPL still wants to get aggressive on this building.
Yeah, they know they're playing on the edge. They know there's like 3 or 4 teams over on the other side of this wall, and so they want to try and get aggressive here. This looks like an isolated fight for them, but they're going to slow play this for now. They're going to wait for the cracks as Ronnie hits some decent damage, but there is another squad over at the tree, and so it looks like they will not pull the trigger on this one for now, as Bambino took a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Ronnie's just going to try to dip out of here. Bambino is going to have a Phoenix, so that's very good for him. Rakanishu taking a lot of initial damage across the map here. A gold barrel stabilizer on that R301 with a massive. Another great combination here for the Gibraltar to have, but having to use 3 cells there. Unfortunate. Pickett didn't have his generator up. They're not going to slow heal this one. Zara tricking and getting another kill right there, that time onto Bambino. So Team Razer really starting to pick it up. As Huge Goblin going to find a knock as well. But Team Rockstar locking down this high ground, this position. It's looking really solid for them. I'm not sure exactly where this zone pulls, but it looks like they're comfortable holding this spot.
This is definitely a new one for me. I don't get to see too many fights and too many rings end up there. Sorting Factory, though, I'm definitely used to, as Stunny starting it all off, getting that first knock, and that's the instant thirst coming out from Team Rice Krispies. As they're looking to continue the hunt, and oh boy, this squad is just stuck inside the office now. Bird is there to cut them off at the bottom of the stairs too, and they should just be short work for Team Rice Krispies Treats, as they're not risking it too much, but they have to be fast on this. You can see the third party is already prepping to come in on this as soon as they see a knock, but there it is. They're gonna go ahead and try to go for an Arcstar play, cut off that one door now. They make their entrance in. Here comes the scan. 4 hostiles detected, and the jig is up. They know the third party is here, and so they're going to be cautious with this one right now. There are caustic bubbles, caustic traps as slowing them down, and Bird is just going to go ahead and tank it as Stunny is forced to use that Q to get on out, but it looks like they should be able to pick this one up shortly enough.
And they just traded positions. Now they're stuck inside the office here, and this team doing a little do-si-do with the caustic gas everywhere. Extremely sneaky plays coming in, almost borderline tilting for Rice Krispies Treats if another team's going to come in from behind, but it looks like they are able to get the knock this time onto Matt. And I think they're just going to try to get this finish and get out of here, because they realize from that scan that there's so many teams in the area. But a nice job there by Matt and the rest of his teammates to try to stay alive as long as possible as Team Rice Krispie Treats, LGS winners, were hunting him down. That was some nice maneuvering over towards the office.
That was a little bit greedy. He didn't have to go for that armor swap, but he did anyhow, and he got out safely. He will go back to try and recover the loot, though, as, again, they do have to worry about the squad on the high ground now. As the positions have been reversed, the ring is going to pull away from them. To swap on over to Team Cheez-It, who have found themselves stuck over on the Lava City side inside the Lava City tunnel, or outside of it actually. And so there's a full squad in front of him, and Stomps is going to be able to lay into him with that massive. Strictly has to back away by himself and rat it out.
So unfortunate that he couldn't get that Phoenix kit off. As soon as that caustic barrel got popped in front of him, you knew he was done for. But I like the play from Strictly. Getting out of there, starting to rotate, trying to find a nice little rat spot to try to get as many points as possible. And still has a Phoenix kit, so if he does take some damage, he is going to be okay. But tough break there for Amaze, and Team Cheese It now on the back foot. And we know what teams are sitting pretty. We know Team Razer's been putting in a lot of damage, but it's been Team Rockstar locking down a nice spot too that's in a really solid spot. So we'll see exactly again where this zone's going to pull as this closes in 10 seconds. But we know Zera Tricky's picked up a couple free kills, and they're looking for some more on the edge here.
Yeah, the EMP does come out, and Mercy only gets tagged from behind as well. Has to be careful. Mr. Hakulo gets cracked. Oh, no, you can't just stand still there. The knock comes out, and now Team Razer, never mind, he actually survives. Okay, I thought he got knocked there, but he survives with 20 HP. It's Team Pop-Tarts that are able to make it into this choke point, excuse me, while Team Razer are in a little bit of trouble here, but they do have the priority to try and get into the zone. They're going to be able to walk this one in for now. They've also got the bubble if they need it, but there's plenty of cover for them to leapfrog from.
Yeah, it's always nice when you're the Wraith and your teammates are there and you just send it with your Q and say, all right, good luck, guys. I made it here. Where are you guys? But
I got out. How are you guys dead?
Yeah, what happened?
Ooh,
So
look
yeah,
at
nice
all
play
that.
by Lucas.
Mr. Hakulo picking up 3 more actually with Zera Tricky. And now Team Razer looking to snowball this into more fighting here on the north side of the circle as the ring will continue to pull down to the south into that area, as they do have to be careful. Mercy only dropping down that generator for themselves, but they've got to be careful. Their toesies are exposed, but they're able to survive. They get that bat off, but they need to use their white heals as they back away from this position. They are stuck here. They're giving up a lot of ground.
Yeah, but you're seeing some nice baiting and switching coming in from Team Razer, especially with Mercy deciding to cancel his heal right there and switch on over to his scout to lay some cover fire down so his teammates can make some plays. But they have to clear this out. There's no going back. You can see the zone has cut off all that area. It's zone 4, so they would just completely melt through all that. And you can see a possible portal play would come down from Hakulo, but I just feel like they're going to have to deal with what's in front of them and push their way through.
It looks like the squad gave up the chase, though, and will allow them free entry into this. As right now on board with Pop-Tarts, they were the team that were able to make it into choke point just before the end. And now Fat Fruit Ninja pushing forward with that Mastiff. Took a lot of damage, but did a lot of damage himself. But now Blighty goes down. It's all left to Farmer Lucas for Team Pop-Tarts here as he's trying to pop off with this Mastiff. Pulls out his secondary, but it is not enough. They go down. It's Team Rockstar who are once again in one of the best spots here in the late game.
There are shots from Rakinishu across the map, but very impressed on how Pop-Tarts almost won that fight. Great massive shots right there, but either way, we're looking at Team Rockstar, again, in the superior position. They're locking down the high ground. They already have a handful of kills, and these R301 shots with the gold barrel are absolutely insane. Unfortunately, his grenades, not nearly as good as his shot, Rakinishu. Just kidding, but unfortunate catch on the edge right there. Team Rockstar really in a great spot to bully every single team on the low ground.
Yeah, Rakinishu has a trigger finger, not a throwing arm. But Crummy with decent nades that are right onto the portal to make sure that he's able to hold that down. Zera Tricky took some damage there on Team Razer, but he instantly throws down that bubble to keep himself safe. And take a look, Rockstar looking to pick up all this KP onto the team on the low ground. Crummy checking his flanks there, and he does suss him out correctly. They don't have any more nades, but there's a golden devotion for Crummy. They're not going to overcommit onto this right now. They could pour down to try and pick this squad off, but I like that they are focusing on maintaining this high ground for themselves. As take a look at the ring pull, Tom.
Yeah, and there's a sliver of this on the high ground, I believe. So we'll see what happens as Team Razer is in a position on the low ground, but they have been in sticky positions before and have been able to work their way out of this one. So we'll see exactly what they elect to do. And Team Rockstar, again, in a great position, just like they were in the game before, to just dominate from the God spot. It's just a matter of executing and not getting greedy. That's why I'm really glad that they didn't decide to drop on that team. You're right, Jamerson, they could have used the portal, but sometimes other teams put yourself in a position where you make mistakes, and just because they're making a mistake and maybe playing on the low ground doesn't mean that you have to commit to that one. So discipline is the name of the game here for Team Rockstar, and they're just going to continue to let things unfold in front of them and just take what's given to them, which is basically the entire map inside the circle.
Yeah, and they're gonna have free position to put down this Watson generator. It's fairly safe here, and they've got a pocket inside this building to work with. They just had to make sure, of course, that their backs are watched, as Knocked won't be able to finish off Stomps, and so expensive agents out of this game now, as Rockstar doing a really good job, doing exactly what I told them to do. It's like they're kind of listening or something. I don't know. Team Razer now, though, on the rocks. They do have the outside position. Have to be careful there. Zero Tricky with that ultimate defensive bombardment connects onto one, but they're not in position to try and punish it quite yet. So they have to be careful. There's still 5 squads remaining here, and so I love the patience coming out from Zero Tricky right now, just playing behind this rock.
Yeah, and this is what you got to do when you're not in this god spot. You have to continue to lay down pings, advance, and play little crevices and rocks right in front of you. The problem is while these guys may be comfortable with a scout, I am not comfortable with a scout in this position. I feel like this is the type of gun where, yeah, you're going to be able to do some nice damage right here with the 2-4, but it's almost massive time, and I feel like Zero Tricky is going to realize that, but instead he's just going to rip people apart. That's going to be an AMG that falls over towards the side, and now it's massive time as they're going to lay down a bubble and start to push.
And it's a full 3v3 here as Team Razer try to push up, but they have to back away off of that now. Mr. Hackula gets a knock onto Tech, but they are in the corner themselves as Rockstar, again, full 3. Razer, full 3. I think we have a duo? No, it's also a full 3. All right, so with the ring pulling away, it is going to be in the favor of, it looks like Team Razer making the rotation around to the south side of this ring for now. Rockstar have to be careful, but you got to imagine they got the port to work with if they want to.
Yeah, I think you have 2 brains, 1 controller alive as well with a duo, so a lot of teams over towards our top 5, top 6 right now. But I feel like Team Rockstar should have the superior position with the high ground. However, you are getting some weapon swaps on the bottom, just like Team Razer needed. Getting rid of those scouts, switching on over to a more ideal gun in this situation. It's going to be the Prowler with the Devil Horns. And now Team Razer feeling like they're ready to fight. Rockstar gets knocked by knock, gets finished as well. That's the duo over towards the side. Now it's all up to Team Razer to execute.
Team Razer have set up the crossfire as well. Good headshot angles for Zero Tricky to work with this Prowler to try and melt him down. So now, yeah, it's a 3v2v2 just to close it out. And I love Mercy setting up the traps for them to fall into as well, as they are looking to close this one out and catch right back up on the leaderboard. And you can see that the other teams know exactly which position they're in. They control their own destiny. They will go ahead and secure a top 2 for themselves, but that leaves Team Razer to take the W.
Hey, we were talking about Team Razer needing to put together a big game. That's exactly what they did. They were never in the god spot until the very end, where they go and just push Team Rockstar into 2 brains, 1 controller there. Unfortunate for Team Rockstar that they held the best spot the entire time, but Razer just picked them apart by little step by little step, and that's how you got to play Apex. We've seen some great games here, going from game number 4, I think it was in the previous game. I don't know, we've had a lot, but the previous game we saw what it's like to kind of bully teams and push through and then get into a god spot there. What we saw from Team Razer is you just take what's in front of you and you just continue to play with that Gibraltar, and you just get in these nooks and crannies, and good things start to happen if you don't make major mistakes.
And we saw that huge entry as well, and putting the numbers in their favor when they were able to both peak with their shotguns, get the knock, get the thirst, and got the hell out of there because they knew that they were going to win after that. So congratulations after game number 6. And now the top of the leaderboard is highly contested here at Series E in our day number 1. Remember, we have $500 on the line, but only 2 teams will walk away with some money. We're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll have game number 7.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Imagine.
All right, and welcome back. And so those that was a word from one of our partners here, Team Pop Tarts.
Was that dropped?
Was it though? I was
I don't know, it
thinking,
looks
I was
just
like,
like him.
this guy looks familiar. Like,
don't know.
I know him from somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, dropped. If you want to go into into Hollywood and try commercials, you can definitely do it at this point. But yeah, I believe that was game number 6. I don't know. It's been a long day. We haven't counted this many games, but yeah, game number 6. Usually this is the cutoff point for a lot of tournaments, but we are going the extra innings. We got game number 7 and game number 8 still ahead of us right now. Wonder if we got the leaderboards to take a look at exactly where our squads are. Just got word from our admins. We're just going to wait on it, but you asked for it, Tom. We've been getting a lot of northern circles, and now we got a southern one.
Yeah, and Team Razer really starting to deliver right there, but it's not surprising that Rockstar was in a good spot too. And we know what teams landed down there, called it out in the beginning, but what happened for Team Intel is they went for the God spot and they got taken out of it early. There was so many teams fighting over towards that area. Team Pringles was one of the teams involved too, and we saw third party after third party. And that's the problem with the South Circles is there is always this one God spot that everybody always wants. And one team will get into it, and one team will try to bully them out of it, and they just don't realize that that's a snowball effect. And there's 3 or 4 other teams thinking the same exact thing, except they landed just a little bit further than you. So a tough spot, and now Team Rockstar most likely still sitting over towards the top, but Razer definitely going to catch up.
Yeah, no one likes it when you show up to the party early. Sure, it says 9 p.m. on the invitation, but we really mean 10, maybe 10:30. So you got to be careful when you show up early because, like you saw, it was just a huge snowball, huge pileup of all these teams coming in left and right. I believe AMG got involved in that as well. They were out early on, so you got to be careful when you try and take that spot early on. But we see why it is so important to get there. But once you are the king, that's king of the hill. It's pretty nice goings because you have a lot of loot to work with. Let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to see exactly where we are. It's going to update because I believe we're still updating this right now. But Team Rockstar currently sitting in first place with 76 points, 2 brains, 1 controller at 72.
Yeah, again, 2 brains, 1 controller, just continuing to find themselves in the end zones. Yes, they're not picking up the massive KP. They're not putting up flashy performances, but it's consistent, which is way more difficult than the flashiness. So great job by 2 brains, 1 controller coming through here and putting themselves in a position to potentially win this thing, but it's still close. Team Razer did themselves a huge favor by advancing on the leaderboard there. I think they were sitting right around 5th or 6th, which we see Crafting sitting in too. So all these teams with 50 are above, really looking solid going into these last 2 games. When we get to these last 2 games, that's when the math really starts to kick in because it's almost impossible if you don't win this one, if you're like an MPL or expensive agents, and you have 76 points on the board by Rockstar.
And I believe during the qualifiers, Team Zeratricky, excuse me, aka Team Razer, were averaging anywhere between 10 to 12 points per game. And so they're still continuing that tradition right now across 6 games. They've averaged 11 points per. It's been that slow burn, that marathon run for Zeratricky right now. But it's Team Rockstar with some massive games. Even though they weren't able to take that last one, the fact that they were able to get a big win with a lot of KP in game number 5 and then have a very solid finish there in game number 6, which keeps them on top.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But again, any one of these teams could strike, but it has to happen in game number 5 here. You don't want to let Team Rockstar or 2 brains, 1 controller, Razer. You can see there's a big difference between having 76 and having 58 here. So, 10 points, not that hard to make up. 20, a little bit more difficult. So, Team Rockstar is most likely going to have an X on their back, 2 brains, 1 controller as well. If we see these guys in the kill feed getting knocked or getting in any type of skirmishes in general, a third party is going to come in. As we take again a look at where Team Razer is landing, they're over towards the Skyhook side. So again, not surprising that they're over towards the top of the leaderboard, but they could even be higher up because of the fact that we saw so many Skyhook zones coming in earlier in the game. But that was a fun one to watch, and we saw what they're capable of. We see them holding spots for quite some time in God spots, but it's nice to see them kind of work their way up towards the map and take what's given to them.
Yeah, seeing both sides of this this team here, instead of just highly having to focus upon playing center zone, they played edge there. They adjusted to it really well, picked up a lot of kill points along the way on that very late, very slow rotation of themselves. But again, it was just solid team fighting, which we've seen out of them in the past. And so it's great to see them get into fights in the early game, which we didn't get to see early on today, just because they were focusing so heavily on getting into center zone. And so heading into game number 7 and game number 8, it looks like we are getting ready to get into game number 7 here. And yeah, this is Skyhook. We've seen it so many times. We got to see it as one of the late game circles, I believe. Was that game number 1? The market ending, correct?
Yep. And then 2 Brains, 1 Controller, I think, took that win as they were holding everybody out over towards the market side. So, again, Team Razer, they had some phenomenal gameplay throughout this time. It's surprising that they're not even winning this thing. That just goes to show how Team Rockstar has been playing, how 2 Brains, 1 Controller has been playing. I'd like to stick on board with these guys over towards the top side to see what's going to happen. But don't be surprised if things start to get a little bit crazier here now that we start to talk about the math involved and teams starting to maybe get a little bit desperate. Team Razer going to drop again over towards Skyhook, and remember that there is 2 teams that have been going over here, so them and one other team. But when you again land over towards the front side, this is this getting word that we could be losing Jamerson here. Okay, so we lost Jamerson for a little bit. We'll be solo casting this one. Hi everybody. What's up, chat? See you guys. Someone asked for some Halo 3 pro tips earlier. You guys are not getting Halo 3 pro tips, but you can get some Apex tips if you stick around. And one of the things that I like to talk about is the landing spots and also how important it is to pick the best spot when you are going to land somewhere. And that's exactly what Team Razer is doing. So again, landing on this side is great because you're going to have the faster rotation and you're going to be able to gatekeep the team that's behind you. So we'll see what kind of armors they walk away with. We'll see what kind of guns they prefer to grab. That Hemlock with the 3X is typically strong, and typically going to see better armors coming through here. I haven't seen a lot of flatlines popping up, and I know that some people in the interviews were starting to favor that, but a double purple bolt inside there is absolutely huge. As we jump on board with Team Applejacks, they're going to fight over towards the fragment side. Looks like Lion's going to have to pop a couple of cells, and I'm not sure if they're trolling or not, but Klain is busting out a lifeline. Maybe he played a pub, got stuck on lifeline, and is coming back. I highly doubt that's part of their team composition. I think that's supposed to be a Watson. So already throwing right now if you're Team Applejacks. But
oh boy, they're at least alive. We'll see. Oh, well, Klain, you do have the passive, of course, with the res. We'll see if we can actually get it. He's already being chased now. Klain will go ahead and turn around with this Mastiff. It's a 1v3, and he is just in a world of trouble here. He's going to go ahead and back off from this. And take a look at how slow they're playing this. They've got the man advantage, but they're being very cautious about this. As of course, we are heading in. These are the last two games of the evening.
Where's the lifeline res, bro? You don't even have to do anything. Just walk by my body. You picked this legend for a reason, right? Isn't it this for this particular scenario? But the best thing right here, if you're Kenny or if you're Lion, is it doesn't matter what you do in this game, whether you walked in there and fought a 3v1 with no armor and no gun. You can just be like, Klain, bro, you're playing lifeline. What are you doing? And just blame it on him. And that's typically why those type of things never work out. So unfortunate mental error there for Applejacks, and Pop-Tarts now find themselves in a burning corner here as Farmer Lucas is going to get ripped for 75 just for standing in that grenade.
Pop-Tarts raw are great, but you definitely need to toast them if you want like the full effect. But Pop-Tarts coming in for that third party. There's already one knocked, and I'm surprised they're not just securing this point, but Blighty, oh boy, takes a lot of damage. He will go down, but there it is. We do have the clap back. They just go ahead and trade for now, as Bloody is trying his best to survive here. There we go. Farmer Lucas will go down next, and now it's all up to Fat Fruit Ninja to keep his team in this for now. But it's the numbers disadvantage. There we go. They push up, and they will get finished off.
It's Applejacks. They're coming through with the lifeline. Klain, fastest to evolve his armor, throwing everything out of the window, resetting the meta. Everybody play lifeline from now on. She could even heal herself if you didn't know, and that's exactly what she's doing. Wow, Klain was never expecting this, just breaking the ground here in Series E, sorry.
I was so confused. I was like, there's no way Klein came back, right? And I was like, there's
did.
another lifeline? But yeah, they survived for now, but unfortunately, Lion is going to be left to just watch his teammates play the rest of this one out. It's still round 1 closing, and we're already down to 17 squads remaining here. So we'll see how far Team Applejacks can get in game number 7.
I'm impressed, Klein. I'm thoroughly impressed that you came back and got your boy. No man left behind. Enjoy the show, Lion. See how it's done as your boy Klein carries you on Lifeline. Just kidding, Lion. NPL inside of the Harvester Snake now. And I'm curious to see what their play is going to be because you do have fences being set up, Jamerson, which means they're expecting a Harvester pull, which Harvester is an extremely fun zone to watch. You're going to have teams holding inside the snakes. You're going to have teams holding up on top. There's going to be a team holding underneath the ramp. There's going to be a team in top middle. And there's going to be 2 teams holding the bottom typically. So there's room for about 10 teams over here as you are going to have Nestle Pure Life getting aggressive.
Yeah, they saw, I believe, the trades going on, and they're coming in instantly for the third party. E-Boy Ronnie sliding on into those DMs. We'll be able to take out PTM. And so there's going to be some free points for them, but we'll see if they can actually punish AMG as well off this. I think enough time has gone by, though, that AMG should have been able to recover. And so no extra KP going over to them, but NPL are happy to get rid of the teams that are trying to contest them here at Harvester.
E-Boy Ronnie with the dramatic look down effect as he goes and clambers up over towards the side there, and not much triple take ammo, so I'm curious to see what his play is going to be because you do have 2 loot boxes, and I'm wondering if he's afraid to check these by himself, and that's why the pings are coming down. They want to try to group loot this, make sure they have the Gibraltar Dome just in case controller looter Ronnie over here does get shot. But again, purple mag on the triple take makes it hard to get rid of, especially when you're rocking that 3x. He's just going to need a little bit more ammo. 1 or 2 more stacks will do. As looks like Kenny had something else in mind besides living. Maybe he just wants to full send it into the lava.
Oh boy. And there is Rakanishu, Team Razer, looking to pick up some extra points. There we go.
Oh, he just wanted
Klein,
to get Klein's stats up. Okay.
Most pro reses by a lifeline. Never mind. They will get wiped out, and that's going to be 2 KP going over to them as we swap on over. Team Intel, slow playing this one, still over at sorting, as now they're going to go ahead and balloon on over. We'll see if they try to take the path over to the mountain or exactly what they try to do. What? Why? Oh, that's why. Okay, they got a team in front of them.
Yeah, and Teen wants to get aggressive immediately. Nice scout shots, opening damage, 72, 2 gold armors, but gets completely ripped now. He's going to have to queue out of here. 1 shot is all it takes to get him knocked, and the bubble going to come down. So Beast of the Hunt going to be popped, and now all hell breaking loose on top of this train. I wonder if they're kind of regretting going on to this team right here, but a nice shot by Hill with the triple take. Here comes the counter EMP. Scan is going to show the res coming up. Armor drop coming through. Was that successful enough? No, not in time. And now, because of the initial damage onto Teen, they should be able to get this res and reset this 3v3.
Great job by Strictly to just go ahead and jump forward there along with that EMP posture, so that they cannot get aggressed upon. Team Cheez-It will be able to stabilize here, back away. They got to hand over some meds, so you got to imagine that Team Cheez-It might be in a little bit of trouble in terms of economy. But oh, Team Intel making a great choice of just getting out of there as the third party was coming in on them.
Yeah, there's this internal shot clock basically that you have in terms of deciding when you want to go and take these fights, how long you want to go and take these fights, and typically that's about 30 seconds, and you don't want to go past that because once the shots start flying, a portal is going to come in, multiple players are going to come in. Plus, you have to keep in mind that you don't just want to win the fight, you have to be able to get the loot afterwards. Otherwise, you're just getting the points. You want to be able to replenish your resources. You want to be able to continue to snowball the game. And nice call by Teen and Hill to get out of that one. Team Intel going to reset, and they need to because they had a bad game in the previous one. They had the God spot. They got third party out of there immediately, and now Hill picking up some more knocks with that triple take. He's been phenomenal so far as they've made their way into a Harvester.
Ooh, Count Dooku. And his head taken off there by Teen. 2 gold armors for Team Intel too, as well. They got to be careful though, as multiple teams are in the area right now, pushing the bubble, pushing the limit. Is Teen, as he is cracked himself, goes for the armor swap right now onto a purple, so he's right back into the fight now as he's coming in for the flank with the G7 Scout. He gets the knock onto a member, and they will be able to finish them off.
Nice job by Teen coming through, getting the armor swap, playing it patient. Tempest and Hill coming through with the flank. And it's so important not to get knocked in these situations, especially because you're sitting over towards the top of the leaderboard and other teams are going to send it on you even more aggressive than they typically would. So Teen going to switch back to that gold armor, which he values more than evolving the red up. And why not? You're able to save more resources. You're also on that Wraith. But I love how he was able to switch to his Scout, was confident in his shots right there, instead of maybe a couple long-range massive shots, which could have prolonged that fight, as you have Gibraltar trying to make his way up there. Easy target as he turns his back over towards the comeback. That's going to be AMG dropping at 14.
165, excuse me, Team Cheez It, holding the southeast side of this ring for now, as Amaze has used that Nox gas grenade. There's going to be the retreat coming out from Strictly, though, as he was exposed by himself with the rest of the squad. They're just going to go ahead and back away, as there is a caustic barrel covering one of their flanks, but right now they are getting chased down. Multiple teams in the area. It's Team Intel now getting involved here, and so it was a good call to retreat coming out from Team Cheez It.
Yeah, and this is a great spot to be with your caustic, but a lot of the barrels have been used already, and we've seen this before, getting the high ground over here where Team Rockstar was able to go and push the other team. But look at this Intel getting aggressive. So many players with their back turn. This is just free kills. Casello's going to pick one up, but he gets knocked over towards the other side. And now Team Intel starting to push over here towards this portal. They smell blood, but are they going to get too aggressive and possibly get third party? Did you see the defensive bombardment come in? We've seen them play patient before and discipline before. That's exactly what they do. That was free kills, but instead they want to play it safe and continue to push.
Yeah, it's Team Pringles in a difficult spot here. Stink dropped down to just 25 HP between shields and armor. They are getting some passive heals from that Watson generator, but Bot Shredder will take out hundreds. It's all up to Stink, who was able to get that armor swap, has the massive and the knock shield that he's playing around expertly right now. With the Volt out, he'll back away into the bathroom. Will he be able to get the knock? Will he survive? No, as another team is now coming on in. Oh boy, BPB. It's all up to Bot Shredder here to try to hold it down for his squad, but he's got no HP left. He'll get cleaned up. That's Team Cheez It coming in with a clean third party.
Nice job there by Team Cheez It. Pushing out Team Intel over towards the side, rotating back in towards the third party. Now they have unlimited loot over towards the second story of that building. Speaking of Team Intel, they're still safe. So with plenty of resources over here, still the same combination too. Teen rocking the Scout with the gold barrel and 2-4 combination. He's going to finish off Bird and pick up that kill leader as well, but you can just see how confident they are in their rotations, willing to take any one of these fights. And watching their back the entire time that they're doing it, they definitely have a big plan here with a minute left.
Yeah, the pace that they've been playing at, it's been incredible now, just on the edge this entire time with 50 seconds now to rotate in. They will port back to the respawn building. And now they have to make their decision. How do they want to rotate in? You already know that teams are holding here on the high ground. They do have time to swing all the way to the south if they want to take the train tunnel. It looks like they might be considering it, but no. I'm going to go ahead and charge forward now.
I'm going over there.
Yeah, and Teen's been at the forefront of all of these battles. He's been opening things up so well for his team. And it's so mind-blowing to me that Hill is the shot caller here, but Hill on the Gibraltar, like we were saying, can be that quarterback in these skirmishes. But it's all about Teen coming through here with the co-IGL, pinging places to go, and deciding where they're going to focus their fire here. As Tempest is going to hit a couple of cells, and you're going to have a team over towards your left. You're going to have teams inside this building. So now they're in a super tough spot, Jamerson, and they realize we can't sit over here towards the middle. Anything over towards these blue crates, we would totally get stomped on. So they're going to have to make a plan. They're going to have to make it fast.
And we saw a very similar circle earlier on today, and Oh boy, we can see it with our X-ray. There's a squad on the other side of that rock. Teen doesn't know it though. Tempest hasn't scanned back there either, so they might get caught out, but never mind. He spots out the third, and there it is, laying into them with the G7 Scout. Has to be careful now. Aggressive bubble, coming out from the other squad, but it's gonna be Tempest with that massive that gets the first knock, but they've taken so much damage. Hill finds another one. They've only traded one back, and so with the defensive bombardment going down, they get cleaned up. Team Razer coming in with the third party.
Such an aggressive play by Oso Rated's team that they weren't expecting it on the other side, and I was trying to explain before that happened that you cannot sit over towards these crates. They had to push over towards the right and just take a fight on that side. That spot is so difficult to be in. Unfortunate for Team Intel that they got caught in that pickle there, but there was a lot of real estate over towards that right-hand side. We do have these player outlines, so it makes it a lot easier to make the judgment call on where to go. And there wasn't much time to make that decision, but Team Razer are going to take advantage of that, and now they're going to put pings down. As we've seen a zone over here before. It was Team Rockstar completely dominating, but now it looks like Razer on the move, just like they were in the previous game. Jamerson trying to play the edge, trying to make their way over towards here. Hopefully they can try to lock down this trailer, which wouldn't be a bad spot.
Yeah, they've got plenty of the zone to work with once it closes as well. So not under too much pressure, doing a good job of keeping their back watched right now. There is one team they see over to the east, and take a look at Team Rockstar right now. They're down to a duo. They were never able to recover Crummy right now, and they have been spotted out by scans.
Taking a look at what Team Cheez-It's doing. They're rocking down the spot that Rockstar was at before, taking on, I think, a 2 versus 2, possibly a 2 versus 3. You do see the caustic gas coming through. The player is going to be over towards the high ground. That's the final player over there. Great job taking some different angles. That's going to be Bowser, as Sung is going to get that knock on towards Pickett, which was a 2-man squad over towards the bridge side. But amazing, massive shots coming out from Strictly, and that's going to be 2 brains, 1 controller dropping to Team Cheez-It.
Here's the third party, though, as they try to show up. Nades holds it down, takes out Stompies, and now it's going to be Strictly here to try and buy some time for his teammate.
Wow.
With the massive hits, a huge 84, and now he tries to hunt down that Watson, but he has to be careful himself. He's going to go ahead and pop that Q, and that might buy enough time for Nades, as he actually just started that med kit. It's going to be crucial for them to try and keep Amaze alive into this late game. Getting that caustic into the late game would be massive, but they are running out of time to try and go for that.
Yeah, one player may have to stick this one, as you do have one player on the high ground, one player on the low ground. They're going to leave Amaze and elect to fight this one. Maybe it was the right play if they're able to win this fight, but you do get the armor swap coming in, at least for Nades. Love how these players are taking the high ground here, but this may call for a third party because there's only 5 squads left. You're going to see Team Razer still in this one. It's going to be Zeratricky getting a couple knocks. Mercy finds another one, this time on the Dracos. NPL on the ropes over here as Team Razer has taken over the trailer.
Team Razer are the only full squad now left in this lobby. They've got a Gibraltar, they've got the Wraith, and that Watson. Red armors to boot as well. Team Cheez-It's still stuck on this rock. I believe there's someone above them right now. We'll see if this fight will end anytime soon, but oh boy, it's peak after peak. Now here's the drop down from the Watson, but Strictly with the Volt gets him the Gold Massive, doing a lot of damage. And there you go, Expensive Agents kit cleaned up, and Strictly is now the kill leader with 5. But it's Team Razer coming in as a full 3. They've got plenty of time to work with. As you can see, E-Rat Ronnie still trying to survive here, but it's now down to the final 3, and I believe this is the best you're going to be able to do, buddy.
Dude, how much fiber is in Cheez-Its? Strictly just dumped on those guys, just completely 2v1ing. Insane shots there coming in for Strictly. E-Boy Ronnie doing what Ronnie does best, ratting, waiting for what's going on in front of them. Poor Dracos, poor Bambino. But you know what? You got the best rat in Series Z on your squad. We'll see what happens, though. Team Razer, like you said, in a great position. You're going to have Team Cheez-Its. You're going to have Nestle Pure Life duking it out for the W. What better than possibly seeing E-Boy Ronnie walk away with a rat dub here?
Here comes the defensive bombardment, but Strictly will be fine. It will pop into the void for now, and here is the EMP leading them into the trap. Let's see how much damage they get off. Actually, it looks like it only zero. Tricky got hit by a Mr. Hakulo over peaks. Gets 2v1 and has to fall back, but they've got the armor, but oh no, there's a knock. Strictly is doing it again for his team. Team Cheez-Its have turned it right around. E-Boy Ronnie getting involved in this as well, but he will fall, and now it's all up to Mercy only. He's got the purple armor swap as well, but it's a 1v2 as he pushes up, and somehow Team Cheez-It do it. They take the win, and this is the second 2v3 victory we've gotten to see today.
Ridiculous plays coming in from Team Cheez-It. Insane plays from Strictly, especially. The shots were on point, and that's how you play it right there towards the end game. Unfortunate for Team Razer there. They had possibly back-to-back wins, but instead, Team Cheez-It, like you said, as a duo, doing it big.
Yeah, and I think E-Boy Ronnie getting involved in that final bit as well, just throwing more chaos into the works was kind of big, but you have to be careful. Even though you've got the numbers, you still can't peek into a 1v2. You saw instantly one of them getting deleted off the map, and then that's the numbers advantage just completely gone.
Yeah, I mean, just phenomenal job right there. You were not expecting a 2 versus 3. Like you said, yeah, E-Boy Ronnie comes through, distracts a little bit, but either way, that's one of the best team fighting teams that we have in all of Apex, not just Series Z here. And they're able to take these guys down in a 2 versus 3. We haven't seen Team Cheez-It put together a game like that as a duo. So again, that just boosts your team's confidence, not only as the duo that was alive when they win that one, but for your teammate watching. You got to feel for these guys. Great job by Team Cheez-It.
Yeah, and that's game number 7. We have one more game ahead of us. Let's go ahead and take another look from one of our partners, as we have Nestle Pure Life ahead of us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Series E. Jamerson here, joined once again by, hold on, I'm muted?
I can hear him. I can hear you, Jamerson.
Oh, nope. I'm good, apparently. I don't know. But yeah, welcome back to Series E, guys. Jamerson here, joined once again by Tom, Tsquared, Taylor, and we are heading in to game number 8. This is the final game of the evening. We already saw a very fast one, I think, in the early game there in game number 7. You got to imagine that shenanigans are about to ensue here for game number 8. But before we head into that, let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard to see exactly where we're standing.
There it is. Team Razer coming out first place. Rockstar right behind him. 2 brains, 1 controller. Intel's in the running too, so look out for all these teams. Heck, I'd even throw Applejacks in the mix because they could drop a 30-point bomb, but that means Team Razer or Rockstar can't get that many points. So we'll see what happens in the final game. We know, Jamerson, how crazy these final games get.
Yeah, and it's only the top 2 teams that place in the money. And so $500 on the line tonight for our teams. And man, what a great showing for our partnered teams tonight. Remember, today was open invitation, right? It was just open signups for 11 extra squads to take them on. But let's go ahead and take a look at what Team Intel does. They do drop over here at sorting. And so sorting, what's so great about sorting, Tom?
The loot, it's such a good spot, and it's got a lot of real estate. And again, the great thing about sorting is the rotations. It's very central. You're always going to get a beacon. And then the fact that if another team does decide to land there, it's a good place to fight. You don't get third party too fast. Maybe a tree rotation will come in and screw you over. Maybe a harvester one if they hear the shots coming down. But for the most part, you can elect to take a very clean 50-50, or you can even split the loot because there is so much loot there.
All right, game number 8 on board with Team Intel. Currently, though, the loot not the greatest for them, but we do have at least a blue armor on Hill, and Teen right now just doing his best to find anything here. But it's a fight going on over at West Frag as Fat Fruit Ninja, Farmer Lucas, and Blighty. I've already gotten one, and it looks like it's the full squad wipe. Never mind.
Nice job there by Team Pop-Tarts picking up some early kills. They're feeling good about themselves after that one, but they're going to have to deal with another team over here. That's why you're going to see Blighty inside of his drone form so we could get some sort of information. And what do you do if you start getting third-partied? You start to set up, get a good spot, and lock it down. But you're seeing some great shots there by Fat Fruit Ninja. Some by the Havoc, some by the Alternator. And while that's happening, Farmer Lucas is going to get aggressive. Unfortunate that Fat Fruit Ninja doesn't spot the player over towards the right. That player is going to hit that Q and be able to hit the corner. So nice job, heads up play by whoever that is, but amazing shots by Team Pop-Tarts and Fat Fruit Ninja.
Oh, Blighty does have to be careful. He's in a 2v1 right now as they are playing inside the zone. Oh, it's Lion coming in, able to get that knock onto Farmer Lucas. Fat Fruit Ninja tries to back him up, but who do you go after? There's so many people in front of him. They get wiped up. That's going to be Crafting coming in to take them out.
Yeah, nice job there. Crafting coming through already with great armors here. Joey Blackout rocking the purple. Gonna be able to get a lot of resources here, and I love the 2x Hemlock with the Blue Mag too. That's gonna prove very useful, but the comeback dealing with a couple of players over towards the Geyser side. We've seen Geyser fights happening before. You are gonna have a couple of caustic traps behind you, so that's gonna be good for watching your back. Only one in front of you though. Will they be able to get this caustic back up? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I remember coming through with the aggressive play. Count Dooku there too, and Matt fortunately gets that off, but it's just gonna be too much aggression coming in from Count Dooku and his squad.
Yeah, the Mozambique's not going to be enough for you there at the end. High Caliber will be able to walk away with some decent loot and control over Geyser for now, as we join on aboard with Team Pringles. As looks like they're a little bit wary, or they're just spending their time using the crafting station. It looks like that's exactly what's going on, actually. For now, the zone is pulling up to the north, but they've got time to work with, as there's still 15 seconds before the ring starts closing. Casellas will watch his back, but instead it looks like it is actually going to be the rotation path for them, as you can't imagine there's many more teams in their way. We're already down to 15 squads left in this lobby.
Yeah, nothing like we've seen in the first couple of games. As we said, game 8, whenever the last game happens, teams start to get desperate. They try to put up big points, big games, because they know what the math is and how many they need to go and take down the #1 teams right now, which you're going to have Team Razer, Team Rockstar, 2 Brains, 1 Controller. Team Intel is in the running as well. As we take a look at what Team Intel is doing, they're making a portal play and trying to get out of here and start to make their rotation out of Sorting Factory. It's going to be Tempest with the shots, this time onto AMG. And we may be looking at a nice aggressive play coming in from Team Intel.
Yeah, they've already used the portal, and they do have to make their way across no man's land, but the defensive bombardment will slow them down for now. That was 2 knocks, so it's going to be a little bit for that squad AMG to try and recover off of this. We'll see if Intel have the timing on this push for now, as they are getting closer and closer. Looks like only one was rezzed up. Knowles will go down. Now here comes the third party, but you have to imagine that Team Intel relatively safe here. They've got the Gibraltar bubble to restabilize and see what they want to do for this next team fight.
Surprised nobody took the portal there, because if it's 2 knocks and the portal's down, that means it's only the Wraith alive, which means there can't be a Watson fence on the opposite end, but they elect to just take the safe route, get the 1 kill, and then dip out. Maybe they're sensing that that was an escape portal just for the Wraith, and 1 player dropped down underneath the bridge, and that's exactly what happened. So Teen finishing that kill off. No reses happened there. 2 players from AMG down, and 2 points on over to Team Intel.
Damn it, Tom, how are you so smart and how are you so handsome? That was a great call. And so AMG are just left as a solo. We'll see if they can get back to try and recover these banners, but with the zone closing, it's going to be a very tough ask of the last member of AMG now. Team Intel, they know they need to pick up KP. They know that they need to have a big pop-off game here.
And they're totally capable of it. We've seen what they're able to do when they start getting their momentum. They had that great game over towards Geyser, which they're starting to rotate through now. But again, you can't underestimate the circle pulls that we've seen in this series so far. It's 8 games total, and a lot of them have been over towards this north side. And we're looking at another one as this team in Trials, BPD, is safe.
Yep, they are detected by a drone, though, and they have to be careful off of this. They were only able to get that 1 gold armor so far, as we join on board with Team Pringles. Looked like they got into a little bit of a fight here on the north side of Thermal. Stink taking the high ground for his squad. We do see the Wraith Cube being used by the other side. Stink took a little bit of damage. He has to back away to try and heal this up. Hey, okay, a purple bolt is nice as well. That's a nice little surprise there, as you're just looking to heal up. So it looks like Team NPL on the other side of this fight.
Yeah, and NPL has the dominant position because they're in the zones, so that means Pringles is going to have to take an unorthodox angle, or they're just going to have to leave the fight, which it looks like they're going to elect to do, go over towards the right side and play the other choke, because there's 2 chokes on this side. Why not take the one that's safe, that's in the zone, so you don't have to deal with these guys? Nice job by NPL bullying them into that positioning, holding their ground. It's not easy to do that against a top team, and they were able to do so. As we take a look at Rice Krispies over here, and they're already setting up over towards this skyhook side, Jamerson, so I feel like it's going to pull over here.
Yeah, the important thing for this squad, though, for Rice Krispies Treats, I know that they have a lot of potential. I mean, we got to see them win an ALGS at this point. I think they might be a little bit disappointed in their performance so far today. They need a big game here. And I think they have the tools to do it. They've got the Bloodhound, they've got the Gibraltar. They need to be proactive with this. As you can see, the port is there. They're detected themselves, but things are just going to slow down for them right now, as I think the early game shenanigans might be over now.
The problem is with this composition is it's an edge composition. So when you're dealing with Skyhook and buildings, you typically want to have a Watson or a Caustic so you can defend yourself. So it's really going to be up to Stunny to play outside, and it's going to be up to Sung to continually hit these scans to see what's going on, see if there's any weaknesses in anybody, see if anybody's down, getting a res, third parties that they can get, and also decide where teams are going to push them from, because of the fact that they need to, like you say, be proactive, find points, have a big game here, and now they're going to do a nice little armor swap so the Wraith can get a little bit more aggressive.
We have 20 more % for Sung on that Beast of the Hunt. He's going to need the scans. There are plenty of teams in the area on the board with Team Cheezer with an amazing finish in our last game. It was a slow start for them, but that was definitely a great game to display what they're capable of. Strictly doing a great job for them and holding it down. On board with Team Pringles, still stuck here on the south side of the ring. They have moved up a bit, but it looks like there's a team getting ready to try and slow them down as they rotate in. There's plenty of time to work with here, and so they're going to work the angles for now, try to find some damage with some nades. Gibraltar defensive bombardment has been used along with the bubble. The R301 shots are connecting, but it's not lethal damage yet, and so they're just going to go ahead and decide to back away from this fight.
Great shots there from Stink, just ripping that player, almost getting the knock too. Could have really turned the tide, but we do have Intel getting a knock this time onto Oso Rated. And if I'm not mistaken, Oso Rated's team is a team that sent it on him over towards the thermal side on top bridge, which stopped their game in the previous one, as Hill's going to finish that one off too. So when we're looking at teams that are picking up momentum, yes, you do have 2 kills here on Stink and Team Pringles, but it's Team Intel who's been picking it up too. Team Rockstar in the vicinity, though, as they're starting to get a little bit aggressive. One big triple take shot is all it takes to open this fight up.
And if you're talking about the meta, this is Matt Pickett. He is just living in this meta right now with the triple take, with the Prowler, getting decent damage off. It's Rakanishu and Crummy up front, though, with that Gibraltar and that Wraith, as it looks like Team Intel were able to finish off their fights, but now they've got to be careful here. Here come the nades from Team Rockstar. Pringles stuck in a bit of a corner here, but we do have Hundreds peeking his head out, trying to get some damage and try to deflect this attack, but he does get cracked. He needs to play around the angles, and Casellos needs to stand up for him to try and buy some time. It looks like neither team will commit onto this, and so both will just back away from this now.
Great generator there by Hundreds. The grenade came in just a second late there for Team Rockstar. Hundreds puts down the gen, deflects the one grenade that they had that could have really opened up that fight with big damage. Instead, like you said, Jamerson, Rockstar going to rotate over here towards this northwest side, see what they can get for free. Again, it's the final game, so if you're over towards the top of the leaderboard, the most important thing is just staying alive, because this is what's going to happen. Other teams are going to get aggressive. This time it's NPL. Draco's dropping first. You know Ronnie's not going to be the first one to drop. We'll see if they're going to be able to get him back up.
Bambino needs to be careful, but with that Pathfinder zip, he needs to go ahead and set down some traps to try and slow them down. The res does come down for them, and it looks like the fight will stop. It looks like they were able to deflect the attack. They'll be able to stabilize off of this. We want to see the state of their economy, but as we join Team Intel, as they are just prowling around the edges of this map right now, they are looking for these frags. It's Joey Blackout to go down and get thirsted here, as Teenage now pushing up. He's got the nades out, tries to suss out their location. This time around doesn't really connect with the G7 scout, but it's just a matter of time. Here comes the defensive bombardment as well from Hill, as he really doesn't want to have to deal with them. It's AMG's decoys to go down now, and Team Intel are on the hunt. They are on the chase.
Yeah, and once Teen hits a couple of scout shots here, this guy's going to drop down. It just needs to put in a little bit of damage for his boys, because they're playing this one the right way, just hunting him down. Intel really needs a big game, like we were saying, and they're starting to get one. Rotating from this train station side, gatekeeping people all the way over towards the edge. But I'm predicting at least 3 to 4 more team fights, if not more, for Team Intel if they want to go and push their way towards the top of the leaderboard, as E-Boy Ronnie's picking up a couple of kills.
There we go. They will be able to finish off decoys for now, but you know, good effort by AMG to try and get back into this fight, but once again, they are on the back burner now. Team Intel with 50 seconds left to go. They need to make their way into this area, and it can be difficult. We already have a lot of teams holding out on the southern side. Take a look, Team Cheez It. Really trying to recreate their success from the last game. Amaze will be able to heal up here in Skyhook. Now, they do have to find their way into the zone. After they loot up, they've got buildings they can leapfrog from, but it looks like it's just going to be a wide wrap around to the northern side.
Yeah, I like this play. Again, you have the crypto, so as long as you can just get in drone form and find out where these teams are, you should have this free rotation coming through, and this is big for Team Cheez It to build on your confidence from this previous game, but they're starting to get charged here, which means another third party could be in the area. It's going to be Team Rice Krispie Treats putting down some serious pressure. So a battle for Skyhook, as there is only a couple buildings here towards the edge, and if that's going to be the case, they should have a free rotation over here unless there's a team holding that high ground. But Rice Krispie Treats is safe. Their team should be safe over towards the side. They should most likely have respect for one another because, again, I feel like a third party could collapse any second.
Intel have found themselves into the center of this ring. There's a lot of ways for them to break LOS, but they've got to be careful of where they stand. Gibraltar Bubble will come down from Hill as he took a lot of damage. He'll be able to pop that bat, but what is their play from here? Again, they're taking so much damage just moving around. They'll back away onto better cover, but is it really? They've got this hallway to work with. They've got the defensive bombardment going down to buy them some time, but that is a lot of tools used and burned by Team Intel.
And all it takes is a scout or a triple take like we're seeing right now, just completely ruin their day. Now that the zone is moved, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Teen wants to try to make some sort of play here. Tempest may even burn his ult just to get out of here. They're going to have to make some sort of bubble play. I'm not sure if they have the portal, but instead they're going to set up a little ambush in this corner. Sneaky play here as we do see the player outlines coming around, and they trade a couple of resources back and forth. One team is coming over towards their west side, and they're just waiting for Tempest to try to heal up because of the fact that he is so weak right now. So set up a big ambush around the corner. Could pay off for these guys, and they could get the batteries that they need to go and continue to fight. But here comes Team Rice Krispie Treats. Song going to take a big grenade to the face.
Yeah, that arc star was massive now. Bird is dropped down to 30 HP as well. He will fall. Protectful picks up 2 before he finally goes down.
Wow.
And unfortunately was not able to win out that fight. And so Rice Krispie Treats, they are happy to be alive after that encounter now. But here on the southwest side of the map, Pringles in a bit of a tight spot. As you can see, Stink will instantly use that Q. Hundreds has no Q to work with, but he will be able to slide out to safety for now. Casellos will hold the angle for him, but oh no, the nade rolls in, and he somehow survives. It's Team Razer holding it out over here at the train station on the western side, but Mr. Hakulo has taken so much damage as he will be able to make it behind cover to pop that bat. Mercy only is holding the angle for him, and so no push comes out from the other side, but this might be a zero-sum game. The zone will start closing in 20 seconds, and they have to start thinking about their rotations.
SC Pure Life is going to drop Team Intel, though, in the kill feed. You're going to see multiple players are going to bleed out. So Team Intel is going to fall as we take a look at what's going on with Team Rockstar over here on the lava side. They're going to have to make a rotation. You see the pings coming down exactly where they want to go to, but 11 squads here on this rotation. Not what we were expecting in the final game. I was thinking more around 7, but instead it's going to be Team Rockstar having to make a big play. Portal is up. Bubble should be up as well, and this is the team they need to take down in front of them. It's going to be Team Pringles.
Matt Pickett just standing there with the Prowler now, pushing the bubble, but he's having difficulty getting through here. Gets cracked, will go down, but they clean up the team fight. Not in time, though, to get the res, and now here comes the bubble for Rock and Nishu for them to reset, have a moment of reprieve, while the zone still closes in behind them. They're not going to be able to get Matt Pickett back up, so it's just going to be the duo of Crummy and Rakanishu holding down here on the south side. They haven't been sandwiched yet, but they've got a decent spot for now as the ring does pull over to the west side as well.
Great angles coming in. Crummy's going to have the help there. That's going to be a knock. And this should be a cleanup here as another team is going to come in from behind. But Rakanishu misses a couple of shots on that Watson, and that takes him down to no shields. Another team going to come in from the side. You're going to see Crummy last guy alive. Team Rockstar going to fall. Keep in mind, you are going to have a couple of solid teams that were towards the top of the leaderboard, most notably 2 Brains, 1 Controller still in this game. Cheez-It's still in the game as well, but it's just Snades on his lonesome here on the bottom of the Rock Skyhook side.
He found a small pocket to work with, and we'll see how long he can survive for his squad now. He does have the EMP, doesn't even want to pop a heal and give away that sound notification, but looks like they might spot him out shortly enough. As they push up, it's going to be Rice Krispie Streets looking for the KP. Stunny, though, caught out by that thermite, has to back away, and he's not going to overstate his welcome here, as the ring will start closing in 19 seconds, and they need to make the rotation. They have the proper side of the zone.
Yeah, good thing this is Team Razer, because if you don't have Razer components or maybe a solid Razer foundation, your computer is going to freeze here with the amount of Watson fences that Mercy has, because they are in the perfect position to keep this team out of trials as Nade's coming through and do a nice little red armor swap. Oh, that's a purple armor swap, but not going to matter because this zone is going to tick extremely hard. And rest in peace. Let's get off his screen because we need to go on board with Team Razer and see what they're doing since they're in the God spot. Oh, Rice Krispie Treats too. It's going to be Rice Krispie Treats and Team Razer duking it out.
Yeah, we do have 4 full squads here in what should be the final ring. Huge damage coming across as Rice Krispie Treats. They're forced to use that bubble early on. GS Bird with the gold armor will be able to heal up real quickly. You can see 2 teams on the low ground as the ring now pulls out into the open. And so it's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, and whoever has Gibraltar is going to be in a good spot. Both Rice Krispie Treats and Team Razer have the Gibraltar here. We know how deadly that bubble can be, the defensive bombardment. 2 great shots there by Stunny with the Volt. Having that digital threat is going to be extremely useful too, but here it comes. It's going to be the fight with the bubble. Sung going to get the first knock on his Tricky. We were talking about how important this Gibraltar is, and now Hackula going to get out of this one and eat some zone damage. So nice job there by Rice Krispies taking care of Team Razer.
Team Razer going down in 3rd. Take a look at the scans coming in. There's one stuck inside the cave for now. They might be able to port out. There's another full squad up top in the sniper's nest. Sunny trying to ping out a location for his squad to try and play in. That one's a little bit too far. There we go. Spreading out the bats, spreading out the heals. And we'll see if we can swap one over to Bird to see exactly where his ultimate, the status on his ultimate is. That would be awesome. Right now, the team on top is being a pain in the neck and the side of Rice Krispie Streets.
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sort of portal play coming out here from Sunny just to get some different angles. You don't really have to take the portal, but the drop down is what you have to watch out for. That's going to be a nice kill coming in from Sung. A nice little portal play coming in too. Not sure what team that was, but you're going to have 2 Brains, 1 Controller dropping down for the final fight against Rice Krispies. If they win this one, they may take this game in the series.
Oh, but here comes the defensive bombardment, and it's doing a lot of damage here as Stunny will be able to stay alive, and Team Rice Krispies will take the final victory of the evening. But where do they land here on the leaderboard is the big question.
Amazing job there. Great defensive bombardment, like you were saying, just putting in absolute work, destruction all over the map. You saw the knock coming down. They had to even deal with the third party that came down, right? I mean, that was the third party over towards their side, but the team that portaled down was a duo. They got those kill points. Then they dealt with 2 Brains, 1 Controller, which we've seen 2 Brains, 1 Controller sitting towards the top of the leaderboard. 2 times they've had a 2 versus 3 where it looks like they're going to win this one, but instead they get second place. The question is that enough points for them to win it?
All right, we're going to take a short break while we go ahead and tally up the leaderboard. When we get back, we'll have the final results of the first night of the Series E regular season.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
All right, that was a nice little break from our sponsor there, Rice Krispies Treats. Of course, taking the ultimate victory. And we said this was a squad that we had a lot of high expectations for, and they ended the night on a high note, but was it high enough to get them into the top 2 positions? Tom, what are your thoughts about the end of this evening?
Yeah, we saw all of our partner teams coming through and proving themselves, really, is what we saw. But we also saw other teams coming through and doing phenomenal, right? We saw, I think it was Team Crafting with Protectful and his squad. We saw 2 Brains, 1 Controller doing extremely well, too. But I was impressed with everybody that played this one, especially the way that Team Cheez It was able to win that. I was impressed with the Razer 2 versus 3 on 2 Brains, 1 Controller. I was impressed by that game that Nestle Pure Life had, the way that they were able to play with E-Boy Ronnie and his squad. So a lot of teams coming through here today and having phenomenal games. Team Intel was another team that came to mind. They just kind of couldn't put it together towards the tail end. We're looking really strong in the beginning. So it was a great performance by all the teams that showed up today.
You got to imagine, this is 8 games. This is definitely better than the scrims that are going on or aren't going on right now for North America. So this is valuable practice, as tomorrow we've got 11 signed teams as well joining our 9 partner teams. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the replays, some of the highlights that we have from tonight's games, as it was action-packed. And like I said, 8 games. This was an absolute marathon evening.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We were looking at some fantastic shots from Team Intel all night long. I mean, you didn't really see many misses coming through the entire day. You see a couple there with the Mastiff, but either way, there was just nonstop action throughout that game. Expensive Agents here, they had a couple of moments as everyone fought for this building here. This was a nonstop third, fourth, and fifth party that ran through here. This is where we saw, I think, who was it? I think even Intel came in on this one. I'm pretty sure Pringles was over towards that side.
Yeah, I mean, I think that today was definitely a great display of the skill that our partner teams and along with our sign up teams were really able to put on display. It's been fantastic, but it's going to be 2 Brains, 1 Controller eking out a victory over our signed teams. Team Rockstar coming in second, but what a massive finish for 2 Brains, 1 Controller. They slowed down a little bit here today, had a really great start, slowed down, but they're getting the top 2 finish. They win by 2 points.
I think the thing that set 2 Brains, 1 Controller apart was their zone predictions today. They were able to single out exactly where they thought the final zone was going to be. They got the God spot, I would say 4 out of our 8 games, which is just absolutely ridiculous. They didn't execute on the final team fights. I think they could really work a lot more on just executing on these 3v3s, 3v2s, whatever it is, because there was 2 games that they could have ended up winning, but they put themselves in a winning position numerous times, which is difficult to do. Their consistency with predicting the zones, again, a lot of them were over towards the north side. Maybe that's where they were landing, but either way, 91 points over 8 games, really solid performance, but really, again, a lot of the teams showed what they were made of today, and it's an impressive showing from all these teams.
Yeah, if we take a look at our top 10 here, we got Rockstar, Team Razer, Intel, Applejacks, Nestle Pure Life, Rice Krispies Treats, and Team Cheez It. So only really 2 of our squads not being able to make it into top 10 today. But hey, we've got plenty of Series E. I want to say once again, congratulations to 2 Brains, 1 Controller for showing up today on sign-up day. But tomorrow is where we're going to have a lot of heavy hitters in the lobby. We're going to have our CLGs, our liquids, everyone coming to try and test our Series E participants, our partner teams. And tomorrow should be another 8 great games.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, I was looking at this lineup that we had today. 2 Brains, 1 Controller stood out to me. Team Crafting stood out to me as well. Not surprised to see them push their way onto the leaderboard, but I was very impressed with, again, the circle predictions that these guys had. Team Rockstar was aggressive as they always were. They fell 2 points short. Razer was right there with them. So again, I think that we are in for an absolute treat tomorrow.
Yeah, this is going to be a great season. What a way to start it off here. Day number 1 of Series E. We're going to be here every week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, with 8 games of Apex Legends. So make sure you guys are following us here, of course, on Twitch and on Twitter as well. That's going to do it for us, but make sure you join us tomorrow as well, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when we will always start. We'll see you guys then. And that'll do it for us. Have a good night.